Adam, the world is just so crazy these days. I mean, we have war, we have all of this crazy stuff going on, but you know what we really need? Two white guys talking about movies. So welcome back to the Adam and Steve
I'm
show,
Adam,
and I'm Steve.
and this is Show. We're here, yeah, movies, talking about movies, and we're really behind, so we're gonna jump right into it. But first, we have a little bit of piece of news that Steve is really excited to talk to us about.
I am. So with our game that we do every year, I get really excited sometimes. I've won the past two, so I made a ghost pick, kind of like a just kind of like a throw it out there kind of thing. And it was for the new Saw movie, thinking it was coming out this year, but unfortunately that got axed. There was a bunch of battles in between producers not knowing what they wanted to do with it, but they finally came to a decision, and that's to sell that shit. But you know who they sold it to? Jason Blum at Blumhouse, but that's not the good part. The good part is Blumhouse is also attached with Atomic Monster, which is a production company owned by James Wan himself. So the baby is now back with the father. Such a nice thing to see. And honestly, it makes me even more excited to see where we go with it. Because, I mean, he hasn't had his hands directly in it since the first movie. He's always had a producer tag kind of thing, but I don't think he's really like had too much to do with it. I think Lee kind of backed out around three or so, but it's pretty cool to see at least James Wan back. Maybe Lee Whannell writes a script for it. We don't know, but I think it'd be really interesting just to see him kind of interact with the series once again.
I believe James Wan and Lee Winnell wrote until the third one. I believe.
I know Lee was writing. I don't know if James was like technically involved in any production stuff, but I know they kind of like outlined the first three for sure.
Mhm. I'll say my take on the prospect of more Saw movies, because we're probably going to get several more Saw movies now at this point, is that we have like 10, you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm like frothing at the mouth, hungry for more Saw. I mean, I'll always take it, and that's fine. It is a little disheartening to me in like a Star Wars kind of way, where it's like, oh, I love The Last Jedi, but it turns out a lot more people and a lot louder people hate it. So I'm not going to get to continue to see that like version of this franchise that I like. And I feel similarly about Saw in that like I was really on board for Spiral and really wanted to see where the future of that narrative was going. And we clearly are not into that. And then the last Saw movie did kind of feel like a send off, like, final, like walking off into the sunset for Jigsaw himself, Tobin Bell. So therefore, I don't know. I don't know where they would go with it, but I would definitely be seated.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing because yeah, I mean the Spiral story that they kind of did was definitely an interesting take with it. It kind of just like did a story where it was in the same world type of thing, but nothing to do with the big whole thing being around Jigsaw. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they take things because it could be that they continue with Tobin Bell, but at the same time, you can only continue so much further with Tobin Bell, especially being well, he's got to be like close to his 80s at this point. He's an older man. So
Hmm.
I mean, you can only go so much further. I mean, we've already killed him once, and he's gonna die eventually in real life. So I mean, unless we're gonna do the crazy shit of CGIing him in, which I
No.
don't sound cool at all. It doesn't even, the prospect of it just gives me nightmares. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see them kind of play with the idea of Saw more than just making Jigsaw movies. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I don't want to see Tobin Bell going for it for that exact reason. I also just don't think that Saw was like built as a franchise in a similar way that like the MCU was, where like we were
Oh,
mapping years down the road. Like it's very clear even from those original seven movies that there was no like overarching plan or any kind of like the foundation here is not very strong. So, while I am gonna mourn for the death of the Spiral from the Book of Saw narrative, I will say that trying that out again and just doing a new Saw story is fine. Again, I'm not like, you know, jumping over hoops for this one. I mean, if they have a concept that's cool, then I'm into it. And you're right, it does give me, resolve knowing that like James Wan might be attached and knowing that Jason Blum, I trust Jason Blum, even though I don't think he's always a hit. I think that he's someone who is actually trying. And so I think that he will put effort into this, and so I'll see it.
Yeah, Jason Blum, I mean, he definitely has his hits and misses a lot of times, but the thing I have the most respect for him with is that he lets people he doesn't let them have a ton of money to do their idea, but he seems to be very like hands off when it comes to letting them, if they're gonna fail, he's gonna let them fail. He's not gonna, I mean, to a fault at times, I think, but he's going to let them make the movie that they want to make and kind of assist them a bit, but he seems to be pretty smart when it comes to all of his business dealings, and Saw isn't a movie that requires a huge budget either, so it'll be interesting to see what all of these hands kind of create together.
Would you like to start with the first movie today, being the transition with Jason Blum? Talk about his most recent film.
Yeah. You want to
Uh,
talk about that little rude ass robot that we're
yeah,
referring to?
so it's funny because I saw this movie late in Texas. I was at a wedding, and my editor took me to Alamo Drafthouse, which was awesome. It was like a Shining themed Alamo Drafthouse, and I thought it was gonna. I don't know what I was thinking it was gonna be, but like it's just like a regular dine-in movie theater. But it was nice, and no one talked or anything, so that's cool. And I just wish that I enjoyed the movie more because for me. While I did feel like I went into the concept of a sequel for this with an open mind, and I do really like the first movie, I found myself to be extremely underwhelmed with the sequel. How did you feel?
I think you're along with the general consensus, but I had that feeling during the movie.
Mhm.
But as the movie went on and I bought more into the idea of what it actually was doing, I think I found myself enjoying it more and more as it was going on because while it did lose a lot of the more horror-ish elements that I loved from the first one, it still has its moments, but it's certainly more of a, I mean, for lack of a better word, action comedy more than anything.
Mm.
But I enjoyed it for what it was for the most part. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite of the year. I might have overinflated my rating of it. It's probably closer to a 3.5, but I I like the character of Megan more than anything, and I liked all the goofy jokes they did, like and I think a lot of people might not have understood some of the jokes, like that little robot that they put her in at the beginning. That is like a
Mm.
discontinued like AI robot that totally got shut down by the company because they went bankrupt. So just seeing them use that as a prop made me laugh a lot.
Mm.
But other than that, I mean, it's a silly, stupid movie, but I feel like, I don't know. I think this sequel is kind of what you should expect, which is to not expect anything because they just do the goofiest shit. Like this guy that directed it and wrote it too, he directed and wrote the first one and also has done some other horror comedy stuff, and he's very much of this tone of like more comedy than anything else. And I don't know, I didn't hate it, but I can definitely understand why a lot of people didn't like it because it's nowhere near the tone of the first one, I don't think.
Yeah, I just think that I'm okay with switching up the tone after the first one, going into the second one. But my problem is them not succeeding with said tone. So the first one's a horror movie. I know it's more of this like, goofy comedy horror movie. But I do think the first one's way scarier than this one. I'm not
Oh
scared
yeah.
during this movie.
No.
I think they were going into the action, realm with this one a little bit more. I don't think any of the action is particularly impressive or good in any way. I think that the comedy, especially like the main beats that I was really looking for in this movie is because I went back and I watched the first one. I do really think that first one is special and good. But the two best scenes are when she sings, like the two times she sings. The once where
Mhm.
she's singing to her at the like showcase of the toy and she like cheers her up about her parents, and then when she sings Titanium. And then also the TikTok dance. These are like the two major things I need to see Megan sing in this movie, and I need to see Megan dance in this movie. And I do feel like the dance scene tried to up it a little bit. She's on stage with the other robots, and she does that whole thing on the head spin. Like, this is like a big, like Megan's having a concert. Like, I think that's a fun upping the ante for the dance, even though I don't think that the moves are going to be as iconic as, the
Oh
moves that
yeah.
she does in the hallway. And then I don't think the singing worked either because did you know what song she was singing to Allison Williams?
I
Yeah,
can't
I
remember
didn't
at the moment.
either.
I feel like I did when I saw it, but it's been long enough where I can't remember right now.
Well, because like I guess there's two different intents with the singing in the first movie. So it's not funny when she sings the first time about her like dad, like and or her parents dying. Like I think that's almost like actually like yeah, actually is a little bit touching. You know what I mean? She
It's
really genuinely
uncomfortable
tears up
funny
this
in a way,
child.
because like it's just like in that
Mhm.
situation, she just starts breaking out into a song and everyone's not expecting it.
Yeah, but Titanium is a way
Yeah.
more outwardly comedic. Like that's so funny. And maybe like that I'm the target demographic because like that song came out when I was like 13 and so I'm like, "Oh, that's a silly middle school song." But it's no, and it's funny because Titanium, she's a robot. But here when she's singing to Allison Williams, like she's not buying it. Like when she sings Titanium in the first movie, like the little girl is like, yeah, like okay, cool. Like maybe it's a little weird, but like she's buying it. She's bought in. Whether or not we think it's funny or not, the character thing is bought in. So here, Allison Williams being like uncomfortable and trying to shut it down every 2 seconds, and the fact that I don't know the song, and the fact that it's like, I almost wish she did like a whole musical number, like a really like I don't want to say like metaphorical, but really stylized musical, like really like as she's trying to shut her down, be like, no, I'm gonna do this big, huge number. But no, she just kind of quietly like sings to her privately, and it's not as funny or touching. And so I don't think that that really lands in the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I think I think a lot of the humor just hit me personally because like you're saying, I agree with I think the general audience probably agrees with exactly what you're saying when it comes to a lot of that because like I was the only person laughing like 90% of the time and I was in a packed theater on like the opening weekend. But
Mm.
I just found myself enjoying it. I don't know. I think the humor, the jokes just made me laugh. It didn't take itself too seriously, but it almost like felt like it jumped similar to the Terminator series. Actually, I'll relate it to the closest. Like the first one is more of like a horror thriller in a way, and the second one's straight up action. And I don't know, this one, instead of being straight up action, it's just straight up comedy with a little bit of like cool fight scenes a couple times, but I mean the humor is just so silly and so dumb, and it just got me right. And I mean, making Steven Seagal jokes about his Aikido stuff, all that kind of shit, just it
Yeah.
made me laugh so hard because I totally like have a love-hate relationship with Steven Seagal.
Mhm.
So th those kind of jokes just got to me personally, but I feel like especially like, do you even know a lot about Steven Seagal? So those jokes might not have.
No,
Yeah,
it
so
was
those
funny to me in like a this is so random kind of
yeah.
way. And I know he's like a criminal, right?
Well, he's just a fucking weird guy. He like is
Um,
friends with Vladimir Putin and stuff, and like his style of fighting is like he doesn't actually touch them and stuff. He like says he's using energy to like throw them, but doesn't actually touch. It's so
wow.
fucking stupid and weird. But regardless, I think a lot of that humor was just I don't know. I think a lot of it was just written for me in a way. Like I was the
Mhm.
target audience for a lot of those jokes, I guess. But overall, it's definitely not my favorite movie of the year whatsoever, but I just had a fun time watching it. But the first one is still ultimately way better.
Yeah, I was gonna refute your Terminator point, and I realized that my argument was gonna be like, this movie is not as good as Terminator 2, which
Oh,
I feel
it's
like
not,
goes
yeah,
without
that's not what I
saying.
was saying.
Even the, no, 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 like I not that's not what you were saying. I'm just saying that like I was gonna be you're gonna like yeah, in a similar way that it did that. I'm like, yeah, but this sucks. Terminator 2 was still scary, and then like
Yeah.
my whole point was just, but Terminator 2 is way better than and the first Terminator is way better than Megan. I mean, I think way, way better. Well, no, Terminator 2 is way, way better than
These,
Megan 2, but I think
where
Terminator
Terminator are like actual good movies, these are just goofy, shut your
Megan's
brain off,
good.
silly
I like
movies.
Megan. And
I don't think it's a classically well-made great movie. I think it's a hilarious addition to the horror icons of the 2020s, honestly. I think she's the head of the pack, but
And then I know we said we want to go kind of quickly through these, but two more things I wanted to bring up. Number one, okay, if I didn't want this to be the sequel, then what did I want? I think if we're going to lean into the camp, let's really lean into the camp, okay? Like, let's do, Annabelle versus Megan, or Chucky versus Megan, or all three.
I
I don't care.
agree.
Like, just have some, like, who cares about the actual plot or anything like that?
I think a Chucky versus Megan thing is not that far out of the realm of possibility. They're both Universal properties as well. And Chucky is very much a comedy with a lot of horror, but it's very silly, so it fits the tone as well and everything. So you're onto something there quite a bit. But also, I wanted to throw on just one more thing too. I like the story of Megan 2.0, the things they're saying about AI and like it being like people being so like dangerous with it and shit and being so reckless. I mean the arms dealer trying to sell it and shit and then realizing that it's
Mhm.
fucking going rogue on him, like that kind of AI shit is bound to happen with the fucking administration and whatnot that's been going on lately. So I loved that they were like kind of making those points a bit more digestible to people, that
Oh.
hopefully people will think about it a bit more. But at the same time, I don't know if that's Megan 2.0 is the movie people are going to really get that idea. But
Mm. No, I agree. That's probably my favorite thing about the movie. Besides the fact that I agree with you, I just generally enjoy Megan and her attitude.
yeah,
But the other thing I liked is the themes about AI, which I thought were solid. I will say that the like reveal of the movie, the like who's behind all this, is the most like obvious. Like I feel like I'm not good at calling stuff like that. And here I was like, it's clearly the suspicious one. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they were saying
Um,
the whole time, it's like, oh no, he's not bad. It's like, uh, but he
and then
has this
did you
past.
hear the Jason Blum interview where he talked like literally opening weekend he did a podcast where he like talked about why Megan is failing and just like really went into it. Oh, it's really I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I listened to parts of it and people that covered it, and it's really interesting how like transparent that a face of a studio is being about how they handled the
That's
movie. Like they were like it's like Superman, we can do whatever we want. Like they really thought that there was a slam dunk.
That's one thing I respect a lot about him is he's not like I said earlier when I was talking about the Saw stuff. He will let people fail, but I mean, and he doesn't do it to be malicious, I don't think. I think he just does it because he doesn't want to be like every other studio head that wants to be like, you can't do this. I'm giving you this, so you have to do this, and he
Mhm.
lets people kind of just like do their own shit sometimes. And I mean. We've seen Fantasy Island and all these other things that are just garbage ass movies, but
Yeah.
I think Megan 2.0 is definitely above some of those, but definitely middle of the pack of the Blumhouse catalog.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I mean, I know some people that like it a good bit. I really don't like it. I know a couple of my critic friends that really don't like it, and then people really don't like it apparently because it's
Yeah,
making no money whatsoever.
it bums me out. I mean, the theater I was in, there was a good amount of people, but it didn't feel like they were gonna go home and tell their friends, is what I'll say.
Yeah, it's quite a miss, but I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. I think that it's okay bad. Like I'm not offended by it, but I'm just like generally bored, and I just think it's inferior to the first one in every way.
It felt way too long. I gave it a four. I gave it a four just because I was mad because everyone else was rating it so low. I think I do that sometimes, but in
Mhm.
reality, I'd probably rate it closer to a 3.5. I'll probably change that here in a little bit because it's truly how I feel. I mean, it's not a great movie, but I had a good time watching it, and I think there's a lot of enjoyment to be had with it. And if you like silly, stupid movies, there's
Mhm.
something there. But if you're looking for something that's really gonna make you think and kind of like percolate your brain a little bit. Megan 2.0, I'm not gonna do that for you. Watch the
Yeah.
first one, you'll have maybe you might have a little bit more fun, but honestly, the series is not made for you if that's the case.
Yeah, that's true. Now, would you like to stay in the horror realm with the next entry? I believe it's the top one on the list that you sent me. It's the only
Oh,
one I remember from the list.
absolutely. I got some other horrors in here, but Final Destination Bloodlines. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I mean, we're from polar opposite ends of the spectrum here with this series. You not being quite the fan of it whatsoever, and
I
me
hate that.
growing up with this series and really enjoying the campiness of it all. So I will let you kick this one off first because I feel like you probably already know my opinion on the series. But
Well, I think that's appropriate though, because I'm born again. I really liked this movie. I think I gave it a 3, but that was like a closer to a 4 than a 2. And I think that the reason I held it down to a three is because this has like stupid good reviews. Like Rotten Tomatoes is
Oh
in like the
yeah.
90s. It made over $100 million domestically. Like it's a
That
surprise hit to me.
that I was not, even as a fan of the series, I was not expecting that whatsoever. I mean, the series has been dormant for what, 15 years or some crazy shit since I think it
Well,
was
it's kind of
2009.
nuts because the last movie that came out was a success, like a very
Yeah.
good success.
It was the when 3D was still doing and the horror people were really attached to seeing like violent stuff in 3D more than action stuff.
Yeah, so I just don't understand why they didn't keep going. But I really like this one because I like the characters. I liked our main girl. I thought that her whole, problem was interesting. I really liked the dynamic between her and the family that she had. And certain characters, like I think it was the tattoo artist that gets his piercing stuck on
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
thing. That I really like that character a lot, and I think that that opening sequence of like the Space Needle thing, that
The
large,
restaurant, yeah.
yeah, I thought that was my favorite sequence in the entire franchise because like the whole time I'm like, it's building up really well. I hated that little kid. I wanted him dead, and the movie just kind of gives you everything that you want from a situation like that. It's really epic.
Yeah, by far, even the first one. This is by far the best written Final Destination series by a long, I mean, Final Destination movie by a long
Mhm.
shot. It was, and then the funny part about it is it actually has some accredited writers, including the people behind Spider-Man Homecoming and a few other things. I think it's John Watts. He was one of
Oh,
the writers on
really?
it. Yeah.
Oh.
I think he was one of the writers on the story-wise. I think they might have had like a touch-up guy, but yeah, he's one of
Mhm.
those people behind the story, and I feel like that's why it kind of has that you kind of attach more to the characters, and it has more sense of like heart and things. And when all of these brutal fucking kills happen, it hurts so much more sometimes, or it's so much more rewarding when they're fucking bitches. Like that little kid,
Yeah.
I fucking Dude, that scene at the beginning with the little kid, I did not expect it to happen, but when it happened, that's the kind of scene you have to see in a packed house because the reaction to that kind of scene of hearing everybody cheer, it just gives you goosebumps and it just makes you feel good because it's a communal experience with movies, and that's the kind of experience you want to have. But overall, yeah, I adored this movie. I mean, we even had like rest in peace, our man, oh, why can't I say his fucking name right off the top of my
I
head?
remember the character though. Yeah, he shows up for one
Yeah,
scene.
Death.
As
Tony Todd,
Oh, and
Jesus
that was
Christ.
improvised. He they were like kind of just give a message that you think is
Yeah,
appropriate.
he was going through his cancer diagnosis and it got really rough over the last few months and they were gearing up to do this and they totally just like set some time aside for him and yeah, they just totally just gave his message as a send off kind of thing and it's such a beautiful scene and I think that really got to a lot of fans of the series too because I mean I think he was in every single sequel too, just in like just little cameo pop up little spots and seeing little Candyman guy show up, it was just so awesome, and it just
Well,
kind of
even someone
made
who's
it.
not sorry,
No,
even
go
someone
ahead.
who's not a fan, like and doesn't even remember this guy, that was like glaringly the most beautiful, touching scene, like genuine scene in the movie.
Oh yeah, it was just so cool to give somebody that moment that meant so much to just horror fans in general. Like I said, he's Candyman. He's been in so
Mhm.
many different horror projects, so it was really cool to see that, and for it to be part of a good movie as well. It was just that added bonus to it.
I ended up with a three. Were you at a four? Did you go five or
I
four and
did
a
go
half?
four. And I could even bump it up in the future, honestly. Like I said, this one, I like some of the other ones, but I think this one probably my favorite movie of the series right now. Like I want to rewatch it really badly.
Mhm.
And yeah, I can't stop. Like when I think about it, it just excites me to think about all the different like scenes that they did and I want to see the behind the scenes stuff. I saw some of it of like how they did the lawnmower thing with that dad.
Mhm.
They did that practically and it looks fucking crazy. It's so cool.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did some really cool deaths with that practically. So I want to see some more behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind another one. I mean, I don't think that they were fishing for it. In fact, the way that they treated it as a franchise, like I thought that was tasteful. I don't
Hmm.
think that there was like a cheap sequel bait type thing. I really respected how they
Yeah.
finished this movie off.
Yeah, I can't speak even more to the writing. I mean, they did it so that it attaches to the rest of the franchise, but isn't overly reliant on the material. It's its own thing. If you didn't see any of the other movies, I don't think you would be really be missing out on anything. There's just
Hmm.
some added subtext here and there of like some little hidden jokes and some little references of like the flight and all that kind of shit. But yeah, I think this is a really great movie, and it just mends in the new generation of fans that can come in with the older ones that have their own set of expectations. I think this is truly how you make a legacy sequel in a way. I mean, Halloween 2019 did a solid job, and this one is added to
18.
that pantheon. Oh, 2018, my bad,
Yeah.
yes.
Would you say that this is the horror movie of the summer?
Um, Maybe.
This
There's
is a
another
lead.
one that we just saw that just came out last weekend or the weekend before that's pretty high up there too.
Yeah, that was a leading question. My favorite horror movie of the summer, at least, because Sinners was in April. That's still
Yeah.
firmly in the spring. I know that when the Avengers movies come out in the last weekend of April, they're getting like a kickstart on the summer, and those I still count as summer movies. But in the middle of April, that's firmly like a spring release. So I wouldn't say Sinners. I would say my favorite horror movie of the year of the summer is 28 Years Later. How did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. So my story with that whole thing is you see my voodoo. I bought those movies
Oh yeah.
literally days before the movie came out. And to tell you the whole truth, never seen either of the first ones before the morning of seeing the new one. I watched both of them and then went to the theater and watched the third one. And it was
Oh,
an
so you had a whole
interesting
day.
yeah, it was a very interesting experience. I actually I saw something in between. I can't remember. I think I saw Dangerous Animals maybe. Something I
Oh,
saw the
I
same
missed
day.
that one. Oh no.
I'll talk about that briefly later, but yeah, anyway, I very much enjoyed the first one. Cillian Murphy's dope. The second one, it's okay. It's not great, but it's a fun little zombie movie, but
Mhm.
nowhere near the first one. But this one definitely captures the magic of that first one a lot closer, and it's a really cool. There's a lot of really cool scenes in this movie, especially. There's some really cool zombie stuff. I mean, the fucking naked zombie with the huge dick, fucking that was just so insane. When he was running around, I was like, what the fuck? I was
Mhm.
like, this dude's
There's a
fucking
there's a lot of dung. Well, okay, one thing that does, I mean, I don't think it stinks, but all of the nakedness in the movie is fake. Like that's not a real penis. The naked,
that
like the
sucks.
boobs and all that stuff, that's all fake because they couldn't, because the main character's a kid. So you can't
Yeah,
like,
that
have naked adults around them. That's like a crime.
yes, yeah. That makes more sense now that you say that, especially. But yeah, that dick was just something I'm not gonna forget about for a while. But
I know, right?
overall,
Isn't it pretty impactful stuff?
that was scarier than the zombie at times. But overall, this is a crazy cool movie. And just the prospect of the next one coming out in 28 weeks is just so fucking cool that just gets me even more excited.
Oh yeah, I love this. I mean, I had seen 28 years later or days later, I think like only like a year ago I caught that one and I really liked it. I just recently watched 28 weeks later. I thought that was all right, like you said. And then this new one, I found myself loving it. I think that the cinematography is the first thing I'd love to shout out.
Yeah,
I love to see a good legacy sequel. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily call this a legacy sequel because as when I think of a legacy sequel, I think of something that like brings back the old cast as well as bring back the old franchise. And this
yeah.
doesn't do any of that. It's completely new characters. It's a completely new situation. It almost feels like a different genre. Like I understand it's a horror movie, but this is almost like a fantasy. Like we're going on
Adventure.
this big, yeah. Like it reminded me of Dune a
Hmm.
lot when it comes to the plot. Like a young boy leaves his society for some dangerous reason, and now he's going off with this, new native group, whatever. And so I really enjoyed where we were setting ourselves. So not only do I think that it picked up the franchise well with where it left off. I also think that it's setting ourselves up really well for the future because I'm really invested in the characters and the conflicts at hand, and I think that we've cultivated beef. You know what I mean? Like the next time we see the the big dick guy, that's going to be hype. You know what I mean? Because we know what his deal is and why he hates, our main characters, and then, Aaron Taylor Johnson, how he's going to come in, seeing red, and then what's up with that like crazy pedophile gang? Do you know like what's up with the gang?
There's a lot of I mean, you did say that a little bit about it not being technically a legacy sequel, but there were talks in the movie of the name Jim quite a bit, and I think Jim's going to make an appearance in this next one.
I think
So
so
it's going,
too. Well, with Cillian Murphy's character, right?
yeah. I
100%. Yeah,
don't know
he's
if he's gonna
definitely
have
showing up.
anything to do with that group, but I think it'd be interesting if he does have something to do with these guys and has some type of interaction with these. And that ending scene, I find it so interesting that so many people have written off, like they watched the whole movie, and then the last 5 minutes when that crazy scene happens,
Oh
the
yeah.
big tone shift, a lot of people, I guess, checked out on that and didn't enjoy the movie because of it. And it just really baffles me because I mean, it is out of nowhere, but I thought it was just so. It set itself up from the very beginning that when it happens, I don't know how you could like find so much dislike for it. It's just like a fun little payoff if you're paying attention.
Well, when I saw it, my first thought was, oh, like the Teletubbies, because they're
Yeah.
all like represented by
Well,
a different
that's
primary
that's the
color.
song. It's like a metal version of the Teletubbies theme song is what's playing too.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice
Yeah.
that.
Oh
But
yeah, it's
then
super
I
deep.
thought I was wrong, and that they were more like Power Rangers,
It was a mixture
because
of the two, yeah.
yeah, he does have the Power Rangers action figure. But and then like obviously there's other references to the Teletubbies, which is nuts because like I grew up with the Teletubbies, so to see like which you couldn't find a franchise that more contrasts with the 28
Hmm.
franchise than Teletubbies. But obviously, the baby and the son, we have like a baby that's a prominent part of this movie. But it wasn't until I researched and found out that like that gang, they're all like worshiping, or like maybe not worshiping, but like they are all obsessed with the British
The
artist
TV
who, yeah,
TV
turned
host or
out to be.
whatever.
Oh yeah, who turned out to be what, a pedophile or a criminal or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. Yeah. He was like a
What
TV host and he was super fucking weird.
Yeah, which is so funny to play with because like some of the my favorite parts about the world building of the movie is like there's a conversation about a cell phone and he doesn't understand like what it is and what it
Well,
does and he
yeah,
explains it.
and people got mad about them like being worshiping that guy, but of that time period, because I mean, he was learned about to be this evil person years later. So with this time span of them being in the zombie apocalypse since the early 2000s, they wouldn't know that he was a bad guy. They would just see him as the television guy that was on TV all the time as kids. So like that logic doesn't really make sense of people being like, they will never be fans of him, blah blah blah. It's like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's a little jarring because it's a little silly, but I really liked it, and I really liked where it had us going forward. I really like Ray Fiennes in the movie. Like when he shows up, I feel like that's the perfect like rush of adrenaline that
Oh
this
yeah.
movie needed. Especially like the way he shows up and he's like all like what, reddish or like orangish.
Yeah, he has like yeah, and they set him up. They're like his dad's telling him about he's like so evil and he does all this things. So then when you get there as the viewer, you're like, oh God, is he actually going to be cool or is he going to be bad? And like even after you find out that he's trying to like be a bit helpful, you're still like totally the whole time just being like, I don't know if I can fully trust you. I mean, I've seen
Hmm.
Schindler's List too. I know what Ray Fiennes is capable of.
Hmm. But
But
yeah,
overall, yeah,
and then Jodie Comer too, I really liked.
yeah.
I really liked the sequence when they're running. There's the land bridge, and they're running away from the big dick, the zombie. I love everything about this movie. I think it's really awesome. There's so much imagery that's one thing I would like to shout out about the movie is that the whole like the iPhone rig that they made. Like there's so much creative stuff being done with the camera here, and it's just really cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, it's similar to what I was talking about at the beginning with James Wan getting back to his franchise, Alex Garland, Danny Boyle getting back to their franchise, and they didn't totally go back to the exact same style of the first movie. They did what they would do in 2025. They didn't try to go back and film it with a handy cam and shit and make it all low resolution. They did their own thing, but still make it feel authentic to the original view. I don't know. It's super cool, and I'm very interested to see where it goes. It's definitely, I think I gave it like a 4.5. I don't know if I gave it the full five, but it's amazing.
I went with five. I loved it so much that I went back to rewatch 28 Days Later, and that first like 15, 20 minutes is like perfect. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I stopped, and then I didn't pick it back up, so I got to do that. Because I was like, well, the first one's like iconic, because that's like the defining zombie movie of the 21st century, I
Yeah, I
think.
mean, I knew so much about it more than I even realized. And I think like a lot of it, like even though I enjoy what's that Korean one, Train to Busan so much, I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of Train to Busan stuff is in 28 Days Later originally. Like some
Mm.
of the different suspenseful ideas and stuff. Like it's very it reminded me a few different times anyway.
Oh, Walking Dead especially is like
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
verbatim.
Walking Dead season one, a bunch of it from the beginning at the hospital and everything.
Mm. Yeah, I really love this movie. I when I first reviewed it, I was like, oh, this is the best horror movie of the year, and I was like, oh, Summer, because
Yeah.
like it's not Sinners, it's still not Sinners.
No.
Um, but yeah, is there any other horror movies that we wanted to touch on before?
Let
I
me
guess we're
pull
going
out my
genre by
list
genre
real
here.
quick.
Uh,
Rosario, don't know if you saw that one.
no,
It
I didn't.
was,
Rosario. Let me look that
yeah.
up.
David Dastmalchian's in it and a few other. I think it follows like this Mexican girl who like grows up and like her grandma ends up passing away and she has to like go to her apartment and then she finds out that her grandma's like doing like, yeah, she's doing like rituals and stuff and is like, she has like a curse on her or something.
Mhm.
And it's not like horrible, but it's a very forgettable movie.
Did you catch that on Shudder?
I can't remember. I watched it streaming somewhere.
I was about to say, yeah, because I don't have any of my streaming services. You're my only mutual that's logged in.
Yeah, it was in theaters for a little bit, but I didn't catch it in theaters.
Hmm. And then
I probably rented it the more I think about it. But
I do see you have a couple other ones on. Actually, you have a lot of horror movies on here.
yeah, I got Until Dawn. I actually went back and caught that one.
Yeah, I didn't
That
like
one,
that.
I didn't dislike it, but it's not anything I'll ever probably go back and watch anytime soon. It has some
I,
cool ideas, and I played like the Friday the 13th game, which was kind of the same type of deal where you're like trying to survive the killer and he's chasing you around, but it had some cool ideas, but I don't think it like totally landed.
yeah, I think it should have been funnier and sexier. I really think that it
I
failed on both
think
those
I
things.
think if Sandberg had his way, it probably would have been, but I feel like there might have been some studio pushback in that to make it more like the video game because I don't think the gritty, I don't think the sexy and the shit is in the video game as much. So I
That's
think
fair
they
because I
probably
don't know
forced
anything
them.
about the game. I'm just saying that like you're telling me there's a movie about a bunch of college kids going to a cabin in the
Yeah,
woods, and I'm like, oh, so there should be a certain level of like humor there, and there should be a certain level of sex appeal there. Like that's what these movies are. And so I didn't like that. I did like there was like some practical like the zombie things at the end, like when she's down in the catacombs and there's like white
yeah,
fucked up looking
yeah.
mutant
Pretty much
creatures.
anything that had some like horror-ish stuff in it was pretty dang cool, but the characters, I couldn't give less of a shit about anything other than that. I mean, the one dude that's in like everything that needs like a scary European guy. What's his fucking name?
Oh,
Oh my
he's in
God.
Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Anyway,
about.
I love that guy and everything he's in. He's just, and I think he actually is in the video game as well as that same type of character. So I mean, that's cool to put him in the movie. But Peter Stormare,
Yes,
it
yes,
just
yes.
randomly came on my brain. But Fear Street Prom Queen on Netflix, save yourself 90 minutes. Don't watch it. That is probably the worst horror release of the year. It's not the same girl that did the first three. It's a completely different person, and
Mm.
it's like Riverdale but worse. Like I wouldn't even like there's not that many kills in it that are even like good at all, and the story you can see it coming from a mile away. It's just if you're really bored, you can watch it on Netflix. It won't cost you anything but time. But
I haven't done any of them, and I kind of refuse. Like they seem like fake movies to me.
the first three are actually super cool in my opinion. They're actually all connected. It's like a trilogy and it's the same kind of cast but in different time periods.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
yeah, it's a super and it's all directed and written by the same person, so it's all continuity well too. I do recommend watching those three, but I
Hmm.
did finally see Drop,
Oh, I saw
the
Drop.
Airdrop movie that Chris
Yeah.
Landon wrote. Chris Landon's awesome. He's a great writer. That's a fun movie. It's nothing like overly special, but it's a fun use of the new technology of airdrop and stuff and the phenomenon of people just trying to be menacing anonymously and whatnot and the whole
Yeah.
whodunit of it all. It was a fun little in the especially the cinematography of like the overhead view and stuff of like looking at everyone in the restaurant and stuff. I'm like there was some good thinking behind everything, and some of the characters are really fun, like the gay waiter and everything.
Yes. And I really like the main couple. I mean, I think a lot of it hinges on them having chemistry and
Yeah.
him riding the line between being like this, like, dreamboat kind of guy and also, but he could be the guy, the
Yeah. I don't know
killer.
too
So
much
I
about
like
him.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good movie. I'm happy you went back and saw that one.
Yeah. Bring Her Back. That might be even higher up than Final Destination for me when it comes to horror of the year.
Oh
That
yeah.
movie was super. Did you get to see it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought it was really good. I like Talk to Me more. Actually, I kind of had a born again moment with Talk to Me because the first time I watched it was in a mystery movie at the Oviedo Theater, and awful, miserable experience. And I think that really hindered the movie for me. And so, but going back and rewatching, I almost damn near gave Talk to Me a five.
Oh
I
yeah,
might
I did.
have.
I
But
did.
this I thought was really good. I mean, I appreciate that Sally Hawkins, probably has the wherewithal to know that, like, oh, I'm the Shape of Water lady, the nice little deaf lady who falls in love with the fish guy. I'm Paddington's mom. Like I'm Wonka's mom. Like this is kind of the public perception of me at this point in time. So being in a role like this, where she's this like fucked up, like what's the Hansel and Gretel,
Oh
the
yeah, the
witch from
Evil Witch.
that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's what she's kind of like here, you
Oh
know?
yeah, she did so perfectly of just being so inviting, but also so subtly evil, and then just leaning in once she finally just goes full balls to the wall, and just the manipulation between the siblings and everything, and
Hmm.
it was super. I wouldn't like a lot of people said that it's better than Talk to Me. I'm not in that camp. I still enjoy Talk to Me, I think a little bit more, but. The Filippo brothers are just so interesting when it comes to them talking about such dark subject matter, but doing it in a palatable way, if that makes sense. Because like their shit is some of the darkest content when you actually like think about story-wise. It's all about like grieving loss and like suicide and very dark material, but they make it I don't know. They make it so it's not like so miserable to sit through, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Oh yeah, there's some like really gory, like impactful stuff here. Like the knife in the mouth is a standout for me.
Well, and just
And
like no one really wins a lot of times too in their movies. Like they end so bleakly.
oh yeah, this was kind of like beautifully dark, the way
hmm
that I don't think Talk to Me was. How do you feel about their next movie being a Talk to Me sequel?
I'm interested. I don't love them going back to it so soon into their career. I kind of wish they could do a little bit more before having to go back to it. But if they have a cool idea, I trust in them so far.
No, I agree. I just think it's a little like lame. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I don't think that we're necessarily going to pick up where we
I
left off from the first Talk to Me, but I don't know. Just do something new and different, right?
I unfortunately, when Hollywood knocks, I think they got to do one for themselves, and now they have to do one for the studio, I'm guessing. And this is the one for the
Yeah.
studio that's going to be, especially because I don't, you might be able to look up the box office a little bit quicker than me, but I doubt this movie probably got. the box office that they were probably hoping for the sequel to Talk to Me. Because I think Talk to Me definitely got its legs from the word of mouth, but I don't know if this one had word of mouth for a little bit when it was just like how fucked up specific scenes are or whatnot. But it
You know,
didn't
it's
really
funny that you
have
say that because I literally had Box Office Mojo open. Like I have that and Rotten
I
Tomatoes open
when
already.
you were because I knew you were doing the game earlier. That's why I was like, I don't have anything to type real quick.
Bring Her Back is actually at $19 million. I believe it's done with its run. It's the 47th highest grossing movie of the year, right behind Until Dawn, interestingly enough, which made it to 20. Also behind Novocaine, but right ahead of Megan 2.0, which by the end of the week should be different. Megan 2.0 should pass it.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it is only like $600,000 away, so it's
Yeah.
like just do $1 million in one weekend and you're fine. But yeah, I do wish that it succeeded a little bit more. Honestly, like it only made like 200,000 more than Baby Girl, which came out in December.
Yeah, I would
So,
say that came out like literally last year.
but this
I
is
saw
only
it this
counting the
year.
money made in
Yeah,
2025. So like that's
yeah,
why it's a little sad. I mean, I guess that's a bigger movie, but like the Phoenician Scheme is only at 18 million. That's sad.
yeah.
Companion and Wolfman both at 20 million. That's sad.
That really bums me out about Phoenician because I mean, I can just jump to that real quick. I fucking loved that movie. I saw it a little bit
Mm,
a while ago, so I can't speak to it in detail too much. But Benicio was hilarious, and all the different cameos. Cast was phenomenal. It was
mm.
filmed like a play almost, and I was laughing so much. I literally got to the movie theater right as the movie started, so I didn't have to see any trailers or anything. I left work and
Mm.
like drove an hour and a half to my theater.
Wow. I finally come to completion with Wes Anderson. I had missed Wonderful Henry Sugar and Royal Tenenbaums. And actually it's thanks to you that I finished that movie because I think I bought a DVD and then it broke halfway through and then I bought another DVD, but by the time I got the other DVD, I was like, too much time has passed.
Yeah,
But I love that one and Henry Sugar's good too. I will say with Phoenician Scheme,
I've
I think it's lower end Wes Anderson for me. I really do appreciate his earlier works more so than his more recent works. But like whereas now like he's clearly gotten to a point where he's a technical like master. You know what I mean? Like his movies are these like art department wet dreams. And I think
yeah.
that's great, but I think that they're sometimes so quirky that they almost come across as like cold to me and unrelatable, and so I just have a hard time like super connecting. And mind you, I gave this movie a 4 out of 5. It's a very good movie.
Um,
He's
like
one of the GOAT
everything you're
filmmakers.
saying, I agree with you, but not about this movie. I agree with you more about it with Asteroid City. Like
Hmm.
I found this one to be almost more in his style, in my opinion, anyway, of being more like darker toned, but still being the silly humor and delivering it in such a deadpan way. I don't know. Like I agree with everything you're saying, but almost in positives rather than negatives. I don't know. I just
Well, also
had
just like the
some,
plot too. I'm like, so what's up with this? Like we're trying to fill the gap or whatever. Like the thing that he was trying to do, the Phoenician scheme that he was trying to do was made more expensive by the government because they don't like him. And so now he's going to each of his investors and he's asking them to basically double their investment to
mhm.
cover said gap. And he's taking his only daughter, who is a nun, with him on this journey, and they're connecting. Yeah, and they carry grenades around.
And Michael Cera makes me laugh every scene he's in, even when he's just in the background existing.
Oh yeah, he's a goofy little guy. I know, don't get me wrong. Everything, I don't really have any real complaints about the movie. Wes Anderson's one of the GOAT filmmakers of the 21st century, and so like he's going to be under the microscope. And so while I
Yeah,
give it a 4 out of 5, I did find myself not really connecting with it, and I do think it's like maybe my least favorite Wes Anderson movie.
interesting. Yeah, I gave it a four out
Well,
of five too, but a completely different reasons, so that's cool.
which, by the way, means nothing. This being the worst Wes Anderson movie is basically like say like that's still better than the best Michael Bay movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like such a veiled insult. But yeah, no, very very good. I actually drafted it in another movie game I'm playing with some other friends where you get points for how much money it makes over time and you get points for award stuff. Do you think I'm in any luck when it comes to awards nominations or wins,
Nominations maybe, but I don't know about wins, unfortunately.
right? Though, but like think about that. Why, okay, so if Wes Anderson's making consistently churning out these great movies that are technically perfect, and he has the cachet, then why is this not an awards contender?
I don't think it's an award type movie, I guess. Like it doesn't, especially like unfortunately, I feel like box office matters more and more every year to some of these voters too. Like the general public, I feel like they go on and they fucking look at what people are saying online and then make their decisions sometimes. So if it's not a high up talked about movie, I don't think it's really, or it's either a high up talked about movie or Oscar bait, and I don't really think it's either of them.
I agree. Because if it was more Oscar bait, it would come out at the end of the year. I do think it's interesting now that his last two movies have come out during the summer.
Yeah.
But I mean, clearly it's not working out for him because Asteroid City, as much as people like that movies, some people like the movie. Some people were calling for it to get Razzie nominations,
Yeah, people
and it
hated
didn't make
it.
very much money either. Yeah, and which I went back and rewatched it recently. Don't remember if I logged it again, but I went back and rewatched it recently, and I do really like it. But I had the same feeling with the Phoenicians game, where I was like, it kind of feels cold.
Yeah. All
But
right.
yeah, no, very good movie. There was still more horror movies left on the
Yes,
bone.
there are. Horror adjacent, I want to, since we're already doing a little bit of comedy here too, Friendship with Tim Robinson. That movie was so bizarre, but so fun. It's such a
It's funny
weird,
that you bring it up because yeah, no, I have to log Asteroid City. Good thing we had this conversation. I hate that when I like to log a movie I watched 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
But yeah, Friendship. I recently, like last night or 2 nights ago, I switched up. I have my power ranking top 10, so it changes throughout the year. And I've had Sinners at the number one ever since I saw it. Previously, it was like Dogman, but now like I was like, let me try out Friendship at that number one spot. Let's see how that feels for a good little bit. And I'll tell you what, I've seen Friendship more recently than Sinners. Well, now I watched Sinners last night, but. Before last night I had seen Sinners or
Friendship.
Friendship more recently, and I would rather rewatch Friendship. And it's the movie I feel like I find myself thinking about more. And kind of like what you said, like I don't want to be like biased and like cater my rating or my opinion to outside factors. But it's the fact that that movie only made $16 million and like no one's really talking about it that
Such a
makes me
bummer.
really want to be like, let me put it at the let me shine a spotlight on this movie, you know?
Yeah, I went into that movie. It was coming out opening weekend. I was going up to my parents' cabin for the weekend, and on that Sunday, on the way home, I was like, I'm stopping at the movie theater. I have to go watch that fucking movie because I've been waiting for it for so long. Because the trailers, I mean, the trailers were perfect. They didn't tell you too much about anything, and it has just that weird Tim Robinson humor in it. And if you
Mhm.
like, especially like his show on Netflix and shit, it almost feels like an extended st sketch of something from that. Because I think what I also wrote too is like. Luckily, Paul Rudd's in the movie, so it works even better. But it's like if Paul Rudd's character was Tim Robinson from I Love You Man, and like Jason Segel's character just like cut ties with him after they went to that concert together. That's like what this movie kind of feels like. It's like Paul Rudd's character just can't handle being not friends with him, and just the way that Tim Robinson like the process of him just becoming unhinged is just so fucking funny. And I mean, the little like drug scene with the guy from the phone store. That is one of my favorite scenes of the year still to this day.
Oh yeah, I like what you said about the movie being like an extended sketch from his show. I don't watch the show, and that's kind of what makes this even more impressive to me is that, well, I know so much about the show. Like I know the 55 burgers, 55 fries. I know the zip line. I know
Hmm.
the you sure about that? I know the give me that. Like I know all of these like iconic bits, like the banana costume or the hot dog costume. He could like
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
into a with a
We all
hot
want to
dog
figure
cart.
out who did this.
That's so funny. But the fact that I didn't know that and went into this like made it gave me an interesting perspective because I was like be able to tell people, hey, even if you don't like him, I didn't previously like wasn't super into him and I still love this. And I will say he is just kind of doing the Tim Robinson bit. Like it's not like I'm seeing a great performance. I
Oh
think
yeah.
my most unreasonable expectation now is within the next 5 years, I need an uncut gems from Tim Robinson if he wants to keep doing this bit. Like, I'm fine if you keep, because it's kind of like Kevin Hart. Like, when he bursts on the scene, he was awesome, he was great, but then he kind of kept doing the same Kevin Hart bit, and it got tired real fast. So I'm going to need to see, which I do think Tim Robinson can. I mean, this movie already is way more dramatic than any like Happy Madison movie, for a
Yeah.
comedy especially. I want to see him actually pour himself into like acting in like a serious movie, and then I'll be
Yeah.
more forgiving of him going back to the well and doing the I'm an unreasonable, socially awkward guy bit.
Yeah, everything he's done so far, I love it. The physical comedy he does of just being so like spastic and crazy and his over the top yelling and stuff, like it works for all of the different character stuff that he's done so far, but I do agree that it'd be interesting to see him kind of take it to a more serious type of tone. I like truly what I wanted more from this movie. Like I still loved it, but I wish it would have went super dark and he would have been like a killer or something and just went full bananas. Like I think that
Mm,
would have been a place that it would have sold it even further to me. Like I'm still closer to like a 4 out of 5 on this one. I absolutely adored it. And I really
mm,
love that it like got to your number one spot because I don't know if I'm brave enough to get it there yet, but I
mm.
think it's definitely still creeping around my top 10, maybe a little bit lower, but yeah, this movie's incredible. It's definitely one of the best comedies of the year.
Oh, I would say 100%. I give it a 5 out of 5. One of my favorite jokes of the year, and it was brilliant. This movie came out 2 weeks after that disaster Thunderbolts movie. But the joke where he's
I
like,
like it.
that new Mar everyone likes it. And then that new Marvel's out. I heard it's nuts.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been more perfect timing in my life. I love it with all my heart. I like that it's like mystical, kind of like there's some mystical aspects about the movie. I've been sitting on the last moment of the movie, where that kind of look that they give each other at the end. And, I just feel like I've really related with that movie in my life. I like, Zach. That's kind of how I
Hmm.
feel about Zach. Um, and like I've recently unblocked him. I'm talking to him, and I'm like, ah, like you're so annoying. But yeah, no, I really connected with Friendship, and I can't wait to watch it again. And I couldn't recommend it more. It's my favorite of the year.
Same. To jump back in some more horror adjacent, but with some animation. Let's talk about that Predator movie on Hulu. How cool was that shit?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. It's funny because we're like, speaking of horror, how cool was that fucking movie, man? And I'm like, my first response was to be like, oh yeah, I think the Predator is so cute, and I mean that in the nicest way. I really think the Predator is adorable because I like, in contrast to like Jason Voorhees or any other killer, the Predator's like, no, I need to be. I'm so honor bound. You need to be aware that I'm coming after you. You
Hmm.
need to have some kind of weapon or whatever. So like I
I got
like that it's this
rules.
like honor bound game that they're playing, and I think that that's adorable. And I love that that's what this shows off, like we're really like Prey's cool because it's like, oh, we're in a different setting with a different people at a different time, and it's cool to see the Predator in that context. So having a movie that's a little like more stylized, that's nothing visually like anything else in the franchise, and we get to explore these different time periods, different types of people. Like this is what we've been asking for so long. So I think it's just such a celebration of a franchise spin-off movie.
Yeah, it's so fucking cool. It's exactly what I like when Prey ended. I think I literally was like having conversation with my brother and shit, and I was like, it'd be so cool if they just went through different time periods with Predator. And then when they did this, I had no idea it was even coming out until all of a sudden I kept seeing stuff online about like new Predator on Hulu. I didn't even know it was out until it was out. Like I didn't know it was coming.
Me neither.
And then because all I knew about was, isn't Dan Trachtenberg have another one coming out in theaters in a few months too?
Badlands.
Yeah, so this one was just like a little like quiet project must be that just got surprised on everybody, but it was so cool. The animation's dope. Like we'd said, the time period stuff's so cool. If you have any interest of it, you probably already saw it and you probably enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 5 out of 5. I have no complaints with it. It was dope.
I give it a 4. I think the part of the reason why I'm taking such a positive spin on it, because I don't think it's something I'm ever gonna go back and rewatch really, unless I'm like going through the whole franchise. But I think after the War of the Rohirrim, last December with Lord of the Rings. That really soured me to the concept of, these animated spin-offs of these serious adult genre film franchise movies. But I do have need to remember that it was a cliche for me for a long time to be like, we need a Spider-Verse version of this, like a stylized animated version of this. And this is what that is. And it's honestly my third favorite Predator movie, which is
Predator
not
2 is the
like a
first
cool
one.
thing to say because there's only five. Well, unless you count the Alien vs Predator. I like Predators more than this. You don't know anyone who likes Predators as much as me.
You're talking about the one that we saw in theaters?
No, that's the Predator.
I
Uh,
like the Predator, so
I need to rewatch the Predator.
autism
But
is a superpower.
yeah, no, and then that's a defining thing about the movie. But the thing that the two, yeah, because there's Predators at the top, then Predators. That's the Adrian Brody, two-time Oscar winner Adrian Brody
I have to
movie.
rewatch that one. It's been a while since I've definitely seen it, but I think it's been a long time.
Do you remember who directed it?
No.
Robert Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, no, I probably I don't think I've seen it then, 'cause I feel like I definitely would remember that. That's crazy.
Oh, it's on my Vudu. Yeah, you would probably remember it because like Danny Trejo's in it, and it's like very clear that Danny Trejo's in it because he's friends with Robert Rodriguez.
Hell yeah.
But it's got a fun cast. I just think that the concept of like, here's all these criminals, they don't know each other, they're falling from the sky, they land on an alien planet, they have to work together, but they're all like criminals,
Oh,
and then the predators are hunting them.
I've definitely at least seen parts of that thing, because that's yeah, I remember that plot line for sure.
Well, you might
My brother also loves that movie too.
Yeah, you might like it more because, like, when it came out, people didn't like it because they showed in the trailer, there's like a shot of Adrian Brody, and you see like the three dots on his forehead, like a predator's aiming at him. And then boom, there's another one. Then boom, there's another one. And then boom, 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 there's a million like to like Buzz at the beginning of Toy Story 2. But in the real movie, there's only like three or four predators. So don't
People got mad.
ex Yeah, so you won't. It's like kind of like that Terminator Salvation thing where you're not going in with like tainted expectations, so you might have a better time with it.
Interesting. Well, I think my last technical horror movie is
Or
one that we teased earlier. Oh no, there's two actually. Dangerous Animals we teased earlier. Cool,
I know, and
fun.
I heard it was actually good.
It was. It wasn't like insanely great, but it's better than I expected it to be. I mean, it's very, I would say that fucking what's his name? Captain Unicorn,
Oh, Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney needs to be in this type of role in another horror movie because Unhinged Jai Courtney might be one of my favorite things, especially in the horror genre, just like of a character actor. He just went balls to the wall with it. It's very much just like a serial killer using sharks as his form of weapon. And he's fucking like using like an old school VHS camera to record the killings and like loves watching them, like super obsessed with like sharks to the point where I think he's gonna jerk off to it, even though I don't think they show that.
Mhm.
But it's just like he like has like a shark tour thing that he like has people come on, they pay him, and then he fucking takes them out there and murders them, basically. It is a crazy
Mhm.
concept, and there's not much more to it other than that, but if you're down for that, I think it's like a 90-minute movie, so it doesn't overstay its welcome by any means. And yeah, I gave it like a 3.5. It's a fun watch. It's a fun take on the shark movie genre. 'Cause
Which
it's
is
not
so
a full-on
difficult
like shark
because,
attack.
yeah, like Jaws killed the genre. Like Jaws, like why make a shark movie? We already got Jaws. So it's nice that they were able to like find ways to make shark movies feel fresh and different.
Hmm.
And I agree. I think Jai Courtney, like I low key enjoy his performance as
Me too.
Mr. Boomerang or
Hmm.
Captain Boomerang. And it's part for what you're talking about, that like manic energy that he can bring sometimes. So I'll definitely be checking that one out.
Yeah, that one was a good time. My last one on the list right now is the bottom of the barrel worst movie of 2025. The Ritual with Dan Stevens and Al Pacino.
Ooh, look that up.
Quite possibly, I caught it. I don't even think it's probably playing at all anymore. It was
There's
like
a
a
one from
very
2017, David Bruckner. I know you're not talking about that
no,
one.
that's the Netflix one. It's called The Ritual. It's like nuns and stuff, and it's supposed to take place. It's like a, of course, you know what it is. It's a possession movie, and they gotta do an exorcism.
Yeah, no, it looks bad, and everyone that I'm friends with also negatively rates it. But now I'm gonna watch it.
It's so boring. That's the biggest thing. It's like Dan Stevens is a good actor, but in
So is Al Pacino. Yeah.
Al Pacino was sleeping through this fucking thing. He's like mumbling his dialogue. Like he's playing like a old sleepy, set in his ways Catholic priest. And Dan Stevens has a brother who committed suicide and is kind of like struggling with his inner like faith because his brother killed himself, and they're not kind of like in the other people in the clergy just don't want to like accept it and are kind of saying that, oh, it was the demons that got to him, not actual mental illness and blah blah blah. So, and it's supposed to take place, and I think in like I think it's supposed to be like the 70s or something, so it's a period piece as well, but it has some cool ideas, but it's just so fucking boring. And like the exorcism scenes are like, there's nothing special about them. It's not really entertaining at all either. Like, I don't know. It's a shame because literally, like, you would think Dan Stevens and Al Pacino, you're gonna get at least something out of this. But
Mhm.
I rated it worse than the fucking Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx movie on Netflix this year because it's
Oh,
one
Back in
thing to be
Action.
it's one thing to be a bad movie. But this movie wanted to be a good movie. You can tell, and it just can't do
Yeah, that sounds awful. Oh my God, I'm sorry you had to watch one of the
it.
worst movies of the year.
Yeah, I think this year I already have a pretty set bottom 10 list that I might even make a video out of because I've been failing to make any other videos, and I think I have a lot to say about a few of them, so watch out for that one.
Well, you have a couple movies on here that I would definitely put on my worst movies of the year list. Minecraft came out a long time ago. Did you just watch it when it went to
I just
Max?
watched it, yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I watched it like a week ago, yeah, with my niece and shit, and I mean, the world adults hated it, but I'll be damned. I kind of fucking really liked it. I know
Have
nothing
fun,
about
man.
I know nothing about Minecraft. Never fucking had it. I played the game like once when my cousin's son like asked me to play with him. He's like, "Your name's Steve. The character's name's Steve. You should come play." And I was like, "I don't want to, but I'll come watch whatever." And the whole craze, I was just too old for it, never became part of it. But Jared Hess's humor, I think, just has a fucking chokehold on me because it's so stupid, but it just kept making me laugh over and over again. I don't know what it is. The stupid Lava Chicken song. I walk around singing it all the fucking time. It's just it is that movie has a chokehold on my brain, and it's partially due to brain rot from just the world and the way it is now. But I think
Mhm.
the world needs stupid movies like these to kind of make things a little less harsh.
Well, the box office agrees. Well, they say not to say anything. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I'll say this. I went back and rewatched Napoleon Dynamite. I love that movie. I think that
Me
that
too.
kind of is the like genesis of like not genesis, but like that is like such a great definition of like indie and the independent
Oh
spirit.
yeah.
And the characters are so iconic and there's so many iconic lines. And I really do feel like there's like real genuine human moments, like emotions. Like I don't think it just succeeds like as like a funny movie. I do think it's like really relatable and sweet. So I really love Napoleon Dynamite.
Well, also Nacho Libre.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't.
that's good
Nacho
too.
Libre is incredible character work. This
I
movie
I
is
missed
nowhere
that
near
as a
those.
child. I never was a Nacho Libre guy
Oh
until
yeah.
like I was an adult, and
I
then
was one
even
of the
then I was
people
like,
that
that's fine.
my dad brought my brothers and I and his Mexican friend from work to go see Nacho Libre.
Oh wow.
And we all loved it. It became a
Hmm.
classic in our household. So that's why like Jared Hess might as well have his fucking picture on the wall next to Jesus in a lot of moments. I haven't seen Gentleman Bronco, so I haven't seen his full catalog, but honestly, I've never had a miss from him. I think he just I saw Napoleon Dynamite when I was probably like 8 years old, and it's just been one of my favorite comedies of all time. So I don't know if it's just that and Jack Black also just like making me laugh all the time and being a big fan of Jason Momoa, all those things mixed together just worked for me in this amalgamation of craziness. But I expected to hate it going into it, and I watched it with my brother and my niece, and we were all laughing together. So
Mhm.
for that
As someone
experience
who
alone, I can't really complain too much.
as someone who liked the movie and loves Jared Hess, would you like to see Jared Hess's next project be a Minecraft sequel, or would you rather
No,
Jared Hess take the money and run and do his own thing?
I would rather see an original from Jared Hess again. I mean, this movie's fun, but I don't need a franchise of Minecraft. Like, I feel like they were definitely setting something up. They did like a post-credit scene of some girl that Steve went to, and it's like I don't know anything about the fucking story of these video games, even if there is one. So none of this matters to me. None of the character moments matter to me. As long as the movie is stupid and entertaining, I would watch it again. But I would, yeah, I'd much rather see Jared Hess make something more in the vein of a Napoleon Dynamite, just an original comedy that unfortunately is missing a lot these days. I just want, especially like comedies in theaters, they just don't happen that often. So I would like to see something more of that vein just pop up and kind of just, yeah, we don't have stuff that like used to be like everything that's a box office moment now is everything like Avengers and stuff. We don't have like The Hangover being the movie of 2010 and shit like that.
Hmm. I, I'm really happy you enjoyed it. I like I'm like stifling myself from saying everything that you said. I feel the exact opposite. I mean, because
Oh,
I
I already knew you
despise
do. That's why.
it's it's so I mean I think maybe there's something to be said about the fact that not only did you were you uninitiated with the franchise, not only did you know you were probably going to dislike it going into it, but watching it in the comfort of your own home,
Yeah.
that might be a
If
better
I would
experience. I
have
mean, I didn't
watched it
have
in
a
a theater
rowdy
with,
theater
I'm about to
experience.
say, if I would have watched it in a theater with teenagers who would have been like talking over it and doing shit like that, I probably would have not liked it at all and probably would have left during the movie, truly.
Hmm.
But
What
yeah,
did you
I
rate
think
it?
I gave it like a 3.5 or a 4. I think it was a 3.5, but I might even bump it up eventually because, like, I don't know. I think it was made for the exact people that liked it, and I think it's well enough that I think adults can get something out of it too. Like I said, it's not the animated movie of the year. It's not winning Best Picture, but it's better than a lot of fucking slop that I've seen come out of the children's camp. I mean, I'd watch that over Lilo and Stitch, and Lilo and Stitch wasn't even that bad.
I also hate Lilo and Stitch. That was the other movie I was referring to. I think I gave Lilo and Stitch a 1. I think I was like it's not absolute dog shit because like Minecraft I think is my worst movie of the year. But Lilo and Stitch like I mean I still do like Stitch. Like the character Stitch is like a cool little guy, but everything I hated the new Lilo, I hated the new Nani, I hated the new Jumba, I didn't hate the new Pleakley, but he was wrong. I hate that they took out Gantu. I hate that
I hate this
everything,
conversation.
everything about it. I don't know. That movie
The
really pissed
original
me
is
off.
my favorite movie of Disney, period. That being said, I don't hate this movie. Do I like it? I wouldn't say I like it. I'd say it's just fine. It's exactly what a Disney remake is. It nails
Exactly.
all of the different plot lines. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not harmless in any way. It doesn't really take down anything that the original did. I think the ending that fucking conservatives complained about so much, I thought that was actually the best part of the movie because it didn't make it a straight remake and it kind of added a
It's,
little bit more. It made it some more heart to it, in my opinion, and kind of made a lot of sense more than this girl who can't even take care of her own sister. It makes
that's
more sense that
interesting that
someone
you
would
think it's
step in
like
and
a
actually help.
political thing. Is
Oh,
that a
it's
thing? Like
100%. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
conservatives didn't
Ben
like it
Shapiro, Ben
specifically?
Shapiro, and yeah, all of those fuckers made it a talking point of being like,
Oh,
this is a horrible movie and it's setting a bad example, and Disney wants to sell the fact that women, she just wants to give up on her sister, chase after her own dreams, and doesn't care about her sister, and this is all just
wow.
liberal dreams. Yeah.
So I knew there was a problem. I didn't know it was a specifically conservative one because I had a weird take on that situation. Like I was like I agree that I'm mad about it, but I'm not mad about it because I think it was wrong of her to like leave. I think it was the complete correct thing for Nani to leave Lilo and go off to college. You
And she
have
was
a
still
full
there. That's
ride
what's funny about it
scholarship.
too. It's like she was still talking to her, showing up through a fucking portal. She did not abandon her. that's what the talking
Yeah.
point was too. It's like she abandoned her sister to go to college and blah 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 and didn't care about her. And it's like, did we watch the same fucking movie? Or are you guys just doing this just to try to enrage people that didn't actually watch it? It
Yeah,
just
and
makes me
also she
so
gets to
mad.
stay with her like pseudo grandma
Yeah.
and the guy that, what's his name? They made him stupid in this one too. The
I mean,
whatever
he
her
was stupid in the
boyfriend
original
is.
too. He said like the
Well, he
goofiest
was like
shit.
cute, but here he was really, I feel like he was really emasculated in this one. And I don't know, there's some things I liked. I like Grandma. Do you recognize who that grandma is? Like the next door
Yeah.
neighbor?
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
Mrs.
yeah.
Kwan from
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cat in the Hat.
Yeah. I recognize her from
Um,
a few different things. I can't remember what I recognized her from too, but I love that lady. She was cracking me up on a little fucking four-wheeler just tearing right down the hill.
Yeah, no, I liked her a lot. There's certain things I did enjoy about it, but no, I found myself really upset. I didn't like this movie so much that I moved Marcel Shell down a star because I do not Dean Fleischer camp. He's not my friend anymore.
Marcel the
I think he's
Shell
a
is
sellout.
one of the best movies ever made, so I'm just gonna ignore that you ever said that and
Well,
continue.
and then his interviews. I'm these days I watch a lot of like clips from I don't watch full interviews, but I watch a lot of clips from interviews. And his like interview where he like talks about why they changed the Pleakley and address thing is like you're like what's it called? Sellout. You know what I mean? Like he's a sellout. Like I don't like him anymore. He's not my friend.
Karate Kid Legends was fine.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was they're Mets fans, by the way. Did you notice that they give him a Mets hat at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, that's the part I had to knock it down a couple stars because it wasn't a Detroit Tigers hat this time.
Well, and only the
Jaden
dorky and
Smith.
villainous characters wear Yankees stuff. Like the dorky friend wears a Yankees
Yeah, 'cause
hat.
yeah,
Yeah, so
they
I mean, I
knew what
did
they were
like
doing.
how much New York propaganda was in the movie. Like you could tell they actually shot a lot of it in New York.
So I have a quick story, real quick, not to do with New York, but so in my theater, I had a man, a woman, and they were older, probably like grandparents, and then a young boy who was severely struggling with his ADHD, bouncing all over, talking, could not sit still, literally like climbing on the bars in front of him at the seats and shit. And the grandma kept telling him to sit down, just like being totally annoying. But I kept looking past it, but I kept hearing the conversations that the grandma and grandpa were having with each other because the grandpa was inept to anything going on in front of his eyes. He had to be told what was happening during the movie instead of actually listening or watching. So at the scene when Jackie Chan, he's in New York and then says, "Oh, I'm gonna go find somebody to help you or whatever," and then goes to California to get Danny. He and in that transition of him saying, "Oh, I'm going to go there," and then they don't say directly California. He just says he's going to get help or whatever, and they do the Dr. Dre Tupac California song and show the palm trees and everything.
California.
This man, after the scene ends, when he goes and talks to LaRusso and he's leaving or whatever, and says, "See you in New York" or whatever, the guy's like, "I thought they were in New York." He just couldn't put that scene transition together for a whole like minute of them playing California. It was just like, now I understand why some people need to be their hand held during movies because like even the smallest things, the man just couldn't. Like I want to say they
Well,
even put up like Los Angeles at the bottom of the screen, but just like I
well,
don't
I
know,
know
it
that there's
just.
some people who don't even speak English who go to these English language movies without subtitles.
This
And
man
like
was a
I
60-year-old white man. He just doesn't speak English for a choice.
That's awful. I'm so sorry that happened to you, man. I actually had a wonderful experience with it. They gave me one of the headband things.
Hell yeah.
And so I had a good time. I like the kids. I like the main Karate Kid and
Yeah.
his little girlfriend were cute. I didn't like that they had to fight at the end because it's a Karate Kid movie, and so you have to do that. Like, I don't know. I thought I was down with him training like her dad or whatever, and like that kind of felt like a new vibe or whatever. But at the end, they're like, "Oh, but now you have to fight because revenge." And
Yeah, the
sure,
store's gonna close down. Gotta make
it,
pizza.
it was all obligatory to me, but I thought it was generally fine.
I think it was a good sequel in keeping the series alive. I need to finish the Netflix show still, but
Oh, I
overall I
gotta
thought this
watch
was.
the third movie. I did the sequel afterwards, but I didn't do the third one. But I'll catch up.
You gotta watch the Hilary Swank one too.
Oh yeah, there is. Well, yes, That does exist. I did find that in my research.
You don't have to. I was just kidding.
No, I will. I will. Like, especially if you're like, it's not very good. I'm like, yes, actually, though, that sounds great to me.
Um, so
What's
that
Havoc? Oh, wait, no, Havoc. I watched Havoc. That's
Havoc,
the cool
the Tom
action
Hardy
movie on
one,
Netflix.
the Raid director, what can I say? Gareth Evans, I think.
Yeah, not Gareth
Great
Edwards.
director. Movie's fine. It
So I
wasn't
keep
like
getting them mixed
overly
up. They have
great.
similar names.
Yeah. Not overly great, but fun action movie. If you got
Yeah,
Netflix, it's worth turning on for your dad and whatnot. He'll love it.
yeah.
But
The action's cool. Tom Hardy's a cool leading
y-
man. 3 out of 5.
yeah, yes, exactly. I think I get it like a 3.5. I didn't love the whole story. I think the ending was very lackluster as I can remember. Can't remember a whole lot about it 'cause it's been a little while, but
It was one of those. It took me forever to watch it because like I did the first 15 minutes and then I was like, I don't want to continue.
Love Hurts. I had a ticket for that in theaters, never able to see it. Watched it on Peacock with my dad the other day. It's fine. That Ke Huy Quan one with Marshawn Lynch in it. The Marshawn Lynch scene was the best part.
Oh yeah, he's funny. They
But
gave me candy,
overall,
like little heart candies that you get on Valentine's Day,
yeah, that's cool.
talking ones. They also
The
gave me a
wedding,
hat.
that's pretty cool. The wedding banquet, the one with all of the Asian people and they're gay, but the grandma's dying, so the gay son gets
Bowen
married.
Yang.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I
Pretty
thought
good
this was the
movie.
Cole Sprouse one from last year.
No, this one came out a few months ago now. It was pretty good. It wasn't rewriting the wheel or anything. I think it's actually a remake of a I don't know if it's a Chinese film, but I think it's another one with an Asian cast, but cool movie about like acceptance and families being shitty.
I like Bowen Yang a lot, so I'll probably catch it on
He's
streaming at some
he's
point.
super funny in it too. It's worth watching. There's a lot of heart to it too, and it's very emotional.
Hmm.
Straw, that one on Netflix, that's a Tyler Perry action drama,
Oh,
or not
I
even really
was.
action, actually like a dramatic thriller in a way. They think she has a bomb in the bank and shit when she's having a bad day, and it's extremely dramatic and what's her name? She's really good in it, but it's just like her being overly just stressed out and crazy for like 90 minutes and going through a manic episode. I can't think of her fucking name. She was in a bunch of movies and stuff and had like TV roles and stuff.
It's
She was
funny when you
in
first mentioned it. I was gonna like look it
Look Up
up, and then you
Empire, the
said
TV show.
Tyler Perry, and I was like, no. Oh yeah, dude, Taraji P Henson
Taraji P.
and
Henson, I
Teyana
could not think
Taylor
of her
and
name.
Sinbad. Wow, yeah,
Yeah,
it's got a
Sinbad
decent
has a
cast.
cameo role in it, and it's like his first movie, I think, since he like recovered from his stroke. Super cool in it though, but overall the movie it's like a 3 out of 5, 3.5 maybe. There's a twist ending that's pretty shocking. It's not the
Eh,
most fun subject matter because it's a lady going through a mental health crisis more than anything, but
hmm.
it's one of Tyler Perry's better movies, in my opinion, when it comes to not being just like a Medea movie. Like, I think I made the joke of like I was waiting for Medea to show up the whole time, and I'm very disappointed. I was hoping for her to be like a police chief or something.
Well, you won me over. I put it on
But I don't
my
even think he's
watch
actually,
list.
for once, I don't think Tyler Perry's in his own movie as far as I can remember either. So big
Yeah,
win on
I
that
don't
one.
watch too many of his, but I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Working down my list, The Accountant 2, I watched that on Prime the other day. He's fine.
Right? I went to a theater and I was like, well, he's cute. I like my little autistic boy. And I
Exactly.
mean that
I,
lovingly. I
the
love
beginning
him.
part of him at the dating thing, like that was
Yeah.
hilarious. I loved those moments and like his back and forth with John Bernthal, like John Bernthal being like the rugged brother who doesn't understand autism, basically. It's
Hmm.
their dynamic back and forth was super cute.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Oh, no, not a lot, but I liked it just fine. I think it's a little too long. We didn't need a sequel.
Yes,
But Ben
100%.
Affleck is like a movie star, and so like him and John Bernthal carry it pretty well. John Bernthal
Yeah,
just plays himself.
yeah. Way too long of a movie, but a fun one anyway.
Oh,
The
I'll
Life
say
of
this
Chuck.
though. Did you
Oh, go
see
ahead.
the Amateur from earlier this year?
Remind me of what that is.
That was the one with Rami Malek, and he
No,
goes on the
I
big
remember that
revenge
now, but no,
thing.
I didn't see it.
It's funny because Rami Malek feels like he was born to play the accountant, and Ben Affleck is more appropriate for the amateur. So I just think it's funny that two very similar
Interesting.
movies came out with, kind of mixed mash casting.
I'm gonna have to
But
watch
yeah,
that one.
but you brought up Life of Chuck. Dude, so I heard great things about it. Everyone told me I was going to really love this movie. And then on a Friday night, opening night for this movie at 10 o'clock, I decided to stay after work and watch the movie. And I liked it. I really liked it. But I didn't love it. No one was in my theater either, so it was a wonderful experience. But I don't know what I was expecting. I kind of thought this was going to be a musical, low key.
Oh, no, yeah, no, not that. I didn't
I
know a
didn't
whole
see
lot
a
about it
trailer. I
going
just saw
in.
him dancing, and on the poster, I'm like,
I
ah, like a musical.
I only saw the poster, and then after seeing it, I listened to the short story actually a couple days ago. I have the audiobook of like it's like three or four short stories in it, but it's super like that movie honestly made me cry. It's my second favorite movie of the year right now, and I really love it a lot.
No, I don't blame you. Everyone's really high on it. I was kind of lower because like I didn't. So like I don't vibe with the whole like the holograms. That I understand the points in his head, like but like you can play you contain multitudes or whatever, like
Hmm.
that whole idea. But I didn't get that, and then like the or out of orderness of it all, and then we're following the kid for like a lot of the movie. I don't know. I thought it was really good, but I'm definitely on the low end, like a low, way closer to a three than a five.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one that I think demands multiple watches too, because there's a lot that I think is talking about that's just about like it's a lot of him just creating the world in his head and just like the life experiences, and it's a very interesting thing to dissect because the story goes even deeper, especially behind the messaging of like the what is the room upstairs or whatever, I forget what it's
Yeah,
called.
the attic thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of different, or there's a deeper explanation, I think, a little bit in the book and whatnot. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think, I kind of liked the structure of it. And I liked that it didn't overly like beat you over the head of trying to like explain the ideas too. Like, I don't know. I think right now this is probably up there next to Doctor Sleep as like Mike Flanagan. Actually, no, take that back because Doctor Sleep's not my favorite Mike Flanagan project. It's probably up there next to like Haunting of Hill House and uh
Oculus?
no, the other
Hmm?
it's the Netflix show that takes place. I forget what it's called.
Hush?
No, Hush is really great
Um,
too. It's one of the series on Netflix. It's like the vampire one that takes place. It's like a churchy like island setting, but overall,
Midnight
anyway,
Mass.
Midnight Mass, yes. It's right up there
Aha.
next to Midnight Mass is like my favorite Mike Flanagan project. But yeah, I really enjoyed the hell out of it. But I'm also a huge Stephen King guy too, so I have a little bit of bias there.
Yeah, it's a kind of a different, like off-speed pitch from his normal, like creepy horror type stuff. So I
Yeah,
appreciate like the optimism
he
of it.
he has some stories that are like that. I mean, similar to Stand By Me as well. That's a Stephen King short, and there's a few other ones that are thriller adjacent, not necessarily horror wise. And I like that this one kind of like blended a little bit of like the supernatural with that room and shit, and not overly horror-ish, but still mixing in a little bit of the freaky deaky shit, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, I think it's really good. I didn't find myself super connecting with it, but I'd buy it on Blu-ray, so I like it that much.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear like in the next few months when you watch it again, if it strikes you any different, honestly. Because like I said, I think multiple watches of this, I think will change people, maybe for the better, maybe for the worse, I don't know. But I think it's one that you can watch a few times and definitely take more from.
I'd also definitely recommend it to people too. Like I like
Oh,
this movie.
I think
But
just yeah, overall, just the way it speaks about life and everything, I think it's a universal concept to people.
oh yeah, I kind of have it in the same realm as I have Phoenician Scheme. Like I think it's really good, but I think everyone else likes it more than I do.
Speaking of a movie that I actually just watched today that kind of falls in that same kind of realm where I feel like I liked it a lot, and I don't know if I didn't really look on Letterboxd to see if anybody really watched it yet, but The Ballad of Wallace Island. Did you ever watch this one?
No, I saw the trailer a million times for it, but I never watched
Yeah,
it.
I kept seeing it in theaters too, and then I went on Peacock this morning and saw that it was on there. So I watched it today and I kind of really loved that movie. It is
Okay.
like just it's just like a little like slice of life, just awkward movie. It's pretty much everything the trailer kind of says. It's just this awkward, socially inept kind of guy who's very silly but loving. And he invites this guy to come play a private concert for him, basically, and his ex-girlfriend, and
Hmm.
like pays him like over like a $500,000 to come do it. And he's trying to figure out like why and everything. And it's a very loving but heartfelt story.
Yeah, that was one I was already had on my radar, but I'll be definitely watching that now that you are so happy about it.
I highly recommend it. I think it was just a really, it's nothing overly special, but it's just a fun, it's like a hug movie almost. Like it's just,
What'd you give
it
it?
makes you want to hang out with the guy, the main character guy, even though he's like so overbearing and so annoying to the character, main character. As an audience member, I was just like, I just want to fucking hang out with this guy. I think he'd just be a blast.
What rating did you give it again?
I gave it a 4.5. Like I gave it a four initially, and then I bumped it up to the half because I was like, it keeps sitting with me throughout the day, and I'm just, I could even go up to a five. I mean, there's no complaints about it. There's some beautiful shots of the island and stuff from like a drone, and it just makes you feel like even though you're isolated on this island and there's like barely any people around, it's just comfortable. It doesn't feel like you're like lost or anything.
Mm. Yeah, well, I'll definitely want to check it out. I have Peacock, so I can definitely say it kind of reminded me of the Banshees of Inisherin with the setting.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's like as goofy comedy. It's more just like I don't know. The guy himself is the goofy part of it. It's not like the scenarios. He like
Hmm.
says a lot of goofy shit and like puns and stuff that just like it makes you like laugh because especially the people in the situation are just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Hmm. Well, one movie I wanted to talk about on your list is Ballerina. Now, several problems with this movie here. Number one,
I
you
forgot a
spelled
letter, yeah.
Ballerina instead of
I
ballerina.
just now look at it, I was like, oh God.
But the problem is, even if you included the N in ballerina, that would still be the incorrect title.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if that's fully correct anymore. I think they might have retroactively changed that because if you look on Letterboxd, it used to be a John Wick movie or whatever, but it is
From
not
the world of
anymore.
John Wick.
Yeah, it is not on there anymore. It is literally just called Ballerina. So I think they might have retroactively backed out on that one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because people have said that to me before, and my usual clapback is like, well, on IMDb it still says from the world of John Wick Ballerina, and but I just looked at IMDb. You can't see it because it's like,
Yeah, it's
a
I got you
little
though.
like saturated and whatnot. But yeah, it is what's it called? It's just called Ballerina now, and
Yeah, I
that's
think they
so annoying because
retroactively backed out because people were so like irritated by the name. Same thing with like Birds of Prey,
me.
the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, blah blah blah. It's like everyone hated that long ass title. It's like just call it Birds of Prey. And then
I
they
see.
did
I love the
that.
Birds of Prey title, but sorry, I can't talk right now. But this, I thought it was stupid because it just breathes a lack of confidence. You know what I mean? Like, and
Rightfully
this,
so.
oh yeah, yeah, because I don't really like this movie at all. But the entire time, all I thought about was that stupid. Because Ballerina, I think, is a fine title. I think Ballerina colon from the world of John Wick. I think that's a fine title. But leading with like, this is a movie about John Wick. Oh yeah, and also the ballerinas in it. Like that's kind of the vibe it gives me. And so like it directly contrasts with like Furiosa, which is called Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the most irritating part about all the whole situation too is well, I did my own research while watching it because the movie was so boring that it just made me need to do that. And I realized that my suspicions were correct, and this movie was not a John Wick movie when it was initially being created. The script
Really?
was found and reworked into making it a John Wick movie. This was just a like ballerina girl who like became a murderer type. I don't know if it was technically a ballerina, but it was like a female assassin type movie. And then it was
It
reworked into
it
being a
feels
John
like a
Wick
very
script.
standard female assassin movie.
But also in every situation that John Wick shows up in, it feels like it's directly just like, let me just fucking space out this paragraph here, and fucking shove John Wick in between it. 'Cause it's like, it doesn't fit whatsoever. It just feels like someone just like, all right, I gotta put in these few scenes to make it this movie so we can sell it better. It's like, it doesn't help
And what is he?
anybody.
do. Like we go and meet him, we fight him, but he's the big daddy, okay? Like he beats up everybody. But
He's
even
supposed
then
to
he's
kill
still
her, but then he
like
decides not to.
yeah, you go ahead and do your little thing, I guess. And like don't get me wrong, some of the action is fun in a John Wick kind of way.
Yeah.
But and I do like Ana de Armas generally, but I did not like her
Well,
here.
that's the thing too that I learned too is apparently in the first edit, the action was not there very much at all. And I don't know how much the rumors are true that Chad, whatever the hell his name is, the guy who directed the last three or whatever, he
Yeah.
stepped in and fucking first unit, how the first unit does like all of the different like usually action stuff or like goes and gets like the
Pick up.
field that we need. Yeah, just random pickup shots. Apparently he went back and reshot like a ton of the action stuff to up the action because it was more just about the plot of her like going around and not actually having any fights, just like killing people and stuff. And it was apparently it was quite boring, like still like very long and just
Hmm.
drawn out. And apparently there was lots of headbutting when it came to this movie, so it's been re-edited and cut to shit, so that's why it's unwatchable as well.
Well, that's so surprising that Len Wiseman couldn't get the job done and deliver a good movie. I hate Len Wiseman. I think he's not my friend. He's in jail and to director jail to me. I do not like him. Yeah, I didn't really like this. It was kind of fine, but like I just hated the title so much that I gave it a two instead of a three, and I don't care to change it. And I think it's really cowardice of them to title it as such and then switch it and make me look foolish. Because now my review is just me being like, "What a stupid fucking title!" And here's all the reasons why it's stupid. And
They
now
took your
people in like
advice.
history are like, "Wait a minute, that was just a tagline, Adam." And it's like, "It wasn't then. You have to understand."
Yeah, it's so weird how studios do that all the time. I mean, it's the same thing as fucking Live, Die, Repeat instead of Edge of Tomorrow. It's just like, it's
Yeah.
annoying when they can't stick to just one thing, but also when you do a stupid thing. I don't know.
No, I agree. But the movie's not even worth it. I gave it a two. What'd you give
Exactly.
it?
It's not even, I can't even remember. I'd have to look it up. Probably not higher than that, two and a half. I don't think I even gave it a three, to be honest, just because
I'm gonna bet you gave it a three. That's my prediction. I bet
you
you were
probably
like,
already
it's
looked at
fine. It
it.
was all right. Yeah, I'm
God
seeing
damn it.
here
God damn
after
it.
this we got
In a
well
sea of
actually
great movies,
four
this one
big
manages
ones.
to just be okay. I gave it a three.
Dude, I know you, bro. I know you so well. Well, it's funny because like obviously we're on Letterboxd with you, so I know your feelings about these movies. I
Well,
see your reviews. I like your reviews, but like I feel like I try not to pay it too much mind in the context of you because like I know we're gonna talk about it,
I'm
so I
changing it
don't
to
like
two and a half as we speak.
necessarily log it in my head. Uh, but yeah, no, I just knowing you, I feel like that's what I felt like you would have given it. You know what I mean?
I
Like
retroact was two and a half.
just like how they retroactively changed the
Yep.
title.
Yep,
And I like how they're
exactly.
like, you're like, they changed the title? Nope, it's worse now,
You change
actually.
I changed my rating. Yeah, I even wrote at the end of my review this flamethrower scene wasn't even better than the gas pump one in the Netflix movie. I couldn't even name that movie then when I wrote the review either.
Oh, Havoc?
Yeah, no, the Netflix, the Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx one, Out of
Oh,
Time,
back in action. Oh
Back in Action,
gosh.
whatever. I was like, that scene with the flamethrower is better than the one in Ballerina.
Yeah, I mean that was cool. The firefight, very
Yeah.
cool stuff. I'll agree with that. There's a couple we left like a lot of the big ones.
We left about the big hitters. Mission Impossible. We can talk about that one. I didn't hate it, but I hate the title because it's definitely not the final reckoning. Like they set it up, it's
What?
not the final reckoning.
What do you mean? What do you
There's
mean? What do you mean? Yeah.
there's 100% going to be more movies. Like I just hate movies that have like t titles like that where it's like, yes, it's the sequel to a movie that started before that, but this series could end here and it'd be perfect, but they're not going to.
So do you think they're gonna make another Mission Impossible movie soon?
In the next 2 years, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is Tom Cruise coming back?
Yes.
No, no, he's
There's no doubt in
not.
my mind, dude. These
No.
movies are making so much money still. There's especially overseas. Tom Cruise is not walking away from this, especially with the shape that he's in still. I
I,
will I hope I'm wrong, but I don't
you,
see that being a thing at all.
you know, it's funny. I was invited to be on a radio show. I've done it twice now in the past month, and on the radio show that was to talk about Mission Impossible, and I pitched the idea. I basically pitched Fate of the Furious because I was like, what if like Tom Cruise played the villain? Like, don't we love him in Collateral as the villain? Like that's such a new like type of role to see him in. So like, we
Shoot, even
always
in
have the
freaking
like the
Tropic
mask
Thunder.
stuff. Yeah, we have the mask stuff. So like maybe the villain is just wearing a Tom Cruise mask the entire time or something. Like that would be like a fun way to like get
Or he
Tom
rips
Cruise
off
in
his
there,
mask,
have a
and then
good
it
Tom
is
Cruise
still Tom
fight.
Cruise underneath the Tom Cruise mask.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want, you know what I mean? And who
It's Ethan
cares?
Hunt the whole
Like
time. Yeah, I think they would be better off not recasting, but just following a new agent because there's got to be another agent. Ethan Hunt can't live on forever.
if they make another one, it got to be a new cast. I think that yeah, there's
At
no
least
way
like
that they
a at
go
least like a
another with
freaking
him.
grandfather, like a Blade Runner 2049, where you pass down the torch somehow or do something. Because it's just like I don't see where. Although, like I said, I don't see as much as I want to say that Tom Cruise will go away and do something else. I mean, I think the money's too good for both him and Chris McQuarrie and the
I don't
studios
think it's that good.
themselves.
I mean, what he's going to do the in Alejandro Iñárritu movie. I think he already shot that. Top Gun Maverick 2, I guess. And then they want to do another Days of Thunder movie, which seems like it's going to be a pseudo sequel to F1 with Brad Pitt. It seems because
I've
it's
never
both
seen Days of
racing things.
Thunder.
Me neither. It's on Paramount Plus. I'll watch it. But I think and he talked about wanting to do the big hands, the Tropic Thunder
Yeah, that
villain
I want the
spinoff.
most.
Yes,
I
me
just
too.
I don't trust Paramount and all of them together to not be like, we have this, we can just make this again, and it's gonna make at least its money back.
I
Especially if
think
like
in
it's going
and
to depend on what his next few movies come out, I guess. If they don't make Top Gun or Mission Impossible money, they're probably going to fucking jump back at it because that's just how studios work. They
okay,
got to
well,
do a
you know
sure
what?
thing.
You made a bold claim within the next. So you said within the next 2 years they will
Can I
announce another
backtrack
Mission
on that and say
Impossible.
three? Can you give me
Deal. I'll let
three?
you have that. And
Okay,
just announce like now it doesn't have to come out in 3 years. They just have to announce another one like
deal.
officially. I'll go in the complete opposite direction. I don't think in Tom Cruise's lifetime that they make release another Mission Impossible movie. Like I think they wait until
Interesting.
he dies, like kind of a Back to the Future
I like
situation.
this.
So
That's interesting.
anywhere in the middle,
From
we
three
both
to
win.
30 years, depending on how long this motherfucker lives, because you know he doesn't seem to
Most
be going
likely
anytime
we'll
soon.
tie, but there's a small chance you win, and then there's also a small chance I win, and the show will still be going on when Tom Cruise dies. So,
All right, it
we'll be
is
able to follow up on that.
as of recording, this is July 9th. If nothing is announced by July 9th of 2028.
Hmm. Deal, deal. Um, and then what's it called?
We got F1 and
I
Jurassic World left on my list.
wow, I didn't even say anything about the movie. I
Oh
forgot.
yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't
We got
either
off about
really.
the title and then the future. I like it. I think the two big stunts are really cool. I wasn't really that impressed by the underwater thing, whatever. But the plane thing, that's the premier action sequence of the year, right?
Yeah, you can't beat Fallout for me still. Fallout is just my favorite of all of those movies, and
Hmm.
I feel like it's just chasing that high since then. I mean, the last one was still pretty good too, but this one, I liked it. I still gave it a 4 out of 5, but I just felt a little underwhelmed when it came to some of the other ones.
Yeah, no, I think this is like lower end Mission Impossible. I still think it's really good. I gave it a 4 with a heart. I do
Hmm.
like Action Man saving the world with his friends. I do think like I really liked Ving Rhames' role in the movie. I did have a moment at the end of the film where like because they kind of all look at each other and they're like, yeah, we're all friends," and it's like two of you we just met. Like
Yeah,
you're acting like this is like the end of Fast and the Furious, where like we've done
family.
8 movies together. Like
But
I
even
don't
in those
know.
movies, people just show up and they're automatically invited to the cookout. So,
But even then, those are stupid because I spent a lot of time comparing those two franchises together, Fast and Furious and Mission Impossible. And I think
yeah,
Fast and Furious gets away with a lot more because Mission Impossible is like, we are the serious action, these are serious adult movies. And Fast and Furious is like, hey, this is ridiculous. We're gonna go fly to space. And like, so therefore, like, I'm not judging it on like a realistic like level. Whereas I am with Mission Impossible, like he should have drowned. Like, there's no way that he survived that whole
I don't
underwater
know.
sequence.
Kate
But
Winslet
I,
can do it, so can he.
yeah, but I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I'm more attached to the Fast and Furious team, and I think I give it a lot more liberties because of its contrasting
Oh
tone
yeah.
to the Mission Impossible
I
movies.
find Fast and the Furious more enjoyable, but they're not better movies.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I mean, I like the Fast and Furious movies more, but I do agree that there's like technical filmmaking. I think is like miles
Yeah,
better with the
exactly. I
Mission
enjoy
Impossible
watching Fast and
movies.
Furious way more than but I still like Mission Impossible are still incredible movies, but they're just like you're saying, completely different merits
Mm.
based on kind of ratings in a way.
And then I just I don't know. I think they're too long. This one especially too long. Too much
Yeah,
exposition. Not enough of like a cool like villain. Like I think he's
truly,
fine.
if you
But
sat down to watch part one and part two, it would take you over half the day, and that's just not feasible for most people. So I don't think people are really going to do that.
Yeah, and I like the themes about AI and whatnot, and I think there's a lot of fan service in the movie that's fun but doesn't distract from like the task at hand. But yeah, no, 4 out of 5 with a heart.
Yeah, I can't I wish I could talk about it more, but it's been so fucking long since I watched it too. We gotta be better about recording next time.
Hmm.
More my fault than yours. I will take full blame on that, but I miss talking to you more often too. So
Well, I appreciate it too, buddy. What'd you give it? What'd you rate it?
I'm gonna give it a four as well. I
Okay.
enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. But one movie I loved way more than that is that cheesy ass car movie with Brad Pitt. I
F1.
don't know shit about F1. I have watched it a few times, couldn't tell you any of the rules or anything. So if this movie, I've heard people be like, it's not authentic to F1, blah, 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 and shit like that. And it's like, I don't care about none of that. I saw fast cars going vroom, vroom. I had the cool camera making me feel like I was in the car with Brad Pitt. And the story is the story. I mean, everyone saw everything coming a mile away, how it pans out. There's going
Hmm.
to be the love interest. There's going to be, oh, old man driver versus young driver. Young driver's all cocky, blah, blah, blah. Like, you could see the whole plot from the trailer, and it played out exactly how I thought. But did I still give it a 4.5 out of 5? I straight up did, because similar to Top Gun Maverick, am pilled. I want F1. I'm into F1 now.
Are you watching it? You actually like picking it up?
I actually probably will. I've had the interest beforehand. I actually joined Tristan when he did his F1 like fantasy league a couple years ago. I started to watch a
Hmm.
little bit then, but fell off of it. And I watch it every now and then. It's fun, but the movie was definitely broadened or definitely increased my interest in it, I should say.
I agree with everything that you said, but I just less enthusiastically. Like I gave this a 4 out of 5. I probably give it a heart. It is cool. Like all the shots of the racing and the fireworks and the camera on the car and
The
all that's
music,
awesome. Yeah, oh, the score is great. I don't like the soundtrack as much, but the score is great.
yeah.
I like the performances. I hope that's the new Black Panther. Brad Pitt is a movie star.
Yeah, that dude, he was in a TV show that actually John Singleton created before he had passed away, the guy who did Too Fast, Too
Yeah.
Furious. It was called Snowfall on FX, and it came out like probably like 6 years ago now about like the rise of crack in California. And he was the star of that show. So I already had known about him from that, but I hope this movie like totally boosts him up even higher.
Yeah, he's really cool. Kerry Condon should have won an Oscar for Banshees a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But
This movie
yeah,
made me find out that she's even more beautiful than I thought.
that was one thing I thought of during the movie because I just appreciated that she looks like she would be with Brad Pitt. Like they're
Yeah.
like age appropriate. I don't know what ages they are, but like I'm like, yeah, they look like. I mean, I know Brad Pitt today could still like have sex with anyone he wants to.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's just a little distracting when you see there was a movie recently where there was someone with someone way stupid, way younger than he. Oh, Love Hurts. We talked about that.
Yes, I was just about to say that actually. Yeah, that one was very weird. I think I watched it with my dad, and even he said that. He's like, she's kind of young. And I was like, yeah. I was like, this is very strange.
Yeah, he's old.
Doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, no, just with F1, I like it way more than Gran Turismo, but I like it a good amount less than Ford v Ferrari, which I think
Agreed.
is just a better movie.
Both those
This movie does feel
sentiments.
like a commercial for a lot most part. I don't
Oh,
like how they do the fake out car crash twice.
that
Like
is,
having them out of balls, please.
yeah. The advertisements is why I totally could not give it the full five more than anything. It's just because like it felt so much that it's like every few minutes it's just like you're just shoving a brand in my gosh darn face, and I just it was too much. Like so much other shit has been doing that. Like WWE, for example, they freaking had like a Slim Jim logo on like a one of those tables that people get broken through. Usually never on them, just wooden tables. They fucking had a Slim Jim logo on the middle of it the other day, and I just got really mad about that. So
I will
advertisements
say
in
that,
any
like,
media
of
just really
all of
piss
the
me off.
brands to use in that scenario, I feel like WWE fans love Slim Jims.
Oh yeah, no, they've been advertising with them since like the 80s, since Macho Man Randy Savage and stuff. So like Slim
And
Jims and
I love
WWE have a
Slim
very,
Jims.
yeah.
They're good. They're a good source of protein. I like them in my snacks. I actually
Hell
definitely
yeah.
ate a Slim Jim during the movie
Perfect.
because I bring my little fanny pack and I put my little snacks in there, and they're the one of those little pencil-sized ones. But yeah, no, I think I think it's good. I think it's a good dad movie. I think it's very solid, action, fun, intense, kind of thing. Oh, look at you go. Yeah, sponsored by. But yeah, no, nothing really to like. I'll buy the Blu-ray, but you're gonna hard pressed to see me like rewatching this anytime
Yeah,
soon.
no, I was gonna take my dad to go see this one with me, but he couldn't make it, and this would probably be the only time I watch it again, really, would probably be with him. I can't see myself really like sitting down. Maybe like watching the sequences on YouTube or something, like the race stuff that's super cool, like to show people how cool the cinematography is, but I it's not, I wouldn't say it's overly long when it comes to the pacing of it. But there are certain parts where I'm just like, I don't really care about these characters as much as I just want to see what happens with the races a few times. Like, I don't know. Like the love story, although I love both the actor and actress in the love story. If you would have cut it out of the movie, it doesn't change it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a little long. But I do think like, just put it in a perspective because I gave a couple other 4 out of 5s today. I like it less than Mission Impossible, Phoenician Scheme, and Life of Chuck. So I think it is a pretty low end four, but it's still four. It's really cool. It's just not my type of movie. I don't like racing. This is like very dad standard, no nothing fun narratively going on here. Just straight down the middle dad movie.
Well, speaking of straight down the middle, but in the worst ways possible, let's talk about this new Jurassic World movie to kind of wrap things. Well, we have one more thing that you're going to talk about at the very end that you just saw. You can talk about it a little bit. But before that, let's talk about that dinosaur movie and how just underwhelming it was. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it. It just wasn't entertaining that much. The dinosaur stuff, they look like some stuff, they like built some robotics, like practical dinosaur stuff, looked pretty cool. Other than that, anytime the dinosaurs weren't on screen, could not give less of a shit. I mean, Mahershala
Um,
Ali and you got the star power of Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, and then don't really fucking use them. Like they just felt like you could have plugged in any other actors into those roles and like you
mhm.
didn't use them to their capabilities. It was just so boring. I mean, I was more entertained by the father and daughters and boyfriend more than I was entertained by the plot of the scientists and the bodyguards chasing after the shit. Like and I think it speaks more to you had the bigger actors in that plot, but I cared more about the other ones because they were just acting better, in my opinion. I mean, it just
Mhm.
felt like they were walking through this movie, and I just didn't have. I don't think anyone in my theater really loved it. It just didn't. It felt like everyone was just kind of there. It didn't feel like anybody was like reacting to any of the big moments. It just, I don't know. It just felt. It felt like Dominion, but I had like higher hopes for this one than Dominion, I guess is what I'd say.
I gave Dominion a 2 out of 5. I also gave this a 2 out of 5. I think it's slightly better because Dominion is way longer and has a lot
Yeah,
more fan service bullshit in it.
yeah.
But I feel very similarly about them. I feel like that's the floor for a Jurassic because at the end of the day, it is still dinosaur action, which is cool. I thought the special effects were like bad in this one. This is the first time where I would watch one of these where I was like, ugh. And then I also, you said you liked the family. I didn't like the family. I didn't like the main group either, though. I didn't get what they're to the douchebag boyfriend rehabilitation arc. I didn't get why we needed that. The very basic, like, I'm the nerd scientist, Jonathan Bailey, and I think that healthcare should be for everyone. And Scarlett Johansson's like, yeah, but what about my wallet? But you're cute, so you know what? I'm gonna turn to your side by the end. And then
But they
what they
couldn't
did with
kiss
her.
because the actor is gay.
Yeah,
I don't know if
also
that's an actual
I thought it
stipulation,
was
but
more romantic than it was, but like everyone's like, no, that was a platonic friendship there. So pretty woke action movie here. But also I didn't like what they did with Mahershala Ali's character. I watched an interview today with Gareth Edwards talking about why the fate of that character was the way that it was because it was supposed to
lame.
be different. And he's such a hack. No, director jail. Gareth Edwards is now in jail. He's no longer my friend. Yeah, what a waste. What a waste. Oh man, this one's gonna be more horror like. Oh, the special effects would get so cool because we know that Gareth Edwards, wrote the book on, modern big monster movies. There's nothing about this visually that excites me, like, especially
No,
at all.
and
And
straight
then,
up,
oh, David Coep is coming back to write the script. He wrote the script of the original one. What the fuck was he doing here, man? There's nothing narratively
yeah,
good
no.
about this movie
He wrote the
whatsoever.
first script because he had the first book to copy off of, because it's based off of a book. He doesn't know how to actually write, it seems. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it was so lifeless and so boring. I mean, it felt so uninspired too. It's just like the last one failed, so we have to pump out another one, but we didn't have any actual ideas for it. It was just so disappointing, especially with, like you said, all the our marketing being like, we're going back to basics. We're trying to be more horror like. We're gonna be scary monsters. And that's what I was like when I was hearing that shit, I was like, hell yeah, I'm down. I want to see monster horror movie. And that's not what we got whatsoever.
What do you think the word rebirth means in the title? Like, what does that have to do with the movie?
I
Also, there's no colon. It's Jurassic
yeah,
World colon Dominion, and then there's Jurassic World Rebirth, like one sentence. Like the
I
Jurassic World
think
Rebirth.
I have a feeling they're trying to be clever and like saying like it's like they're trying to rebirth the series after the shit pile that was Dominion, but at the same time, like story-wise, I'm hard pressed to even think of any reason why it's called that. The more I think about it, I
Yeah,
never
there is
thought
no
about it till
reason.
this moment.
It was a business decision entirely, which is the same thing with Marshall Ali's character. That was a business decision. He literally said
Oh
he
yeah,
was like,
straight up.
"Yeah,
I That's what pissed me off so much because it's like on paper, exactly like fuck it, spoiler. I don't care. You shouldn't go see this movie. That's my spoiler.
yeah,
That's my review actually. But spoiler wise, he should have fucking died. Like it just
yeah."
made it. It was. I think that was a good moment. It actually put an emotional moment in an otherwise emotionless movie. And then when it's like, oh, he's fine. It's just like. So there's no stakes in this whatsoever. Nothing actually. Like, what happened? The dinosaur just walked away. He's like, I don't like you
Yeah.
actually. Dark meat's not my thing. It's like, what are you even saying here? Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, I no
He
balls.
discriminates
You
against
know what I
black people.
mean?
That's what the dinosaur did. The dinosaur's racist.
I'll tell you what, I was excited going into because my dad was like, "Well, what would you do different?" And I was like, "Well, I wanted
Everything.
a movie. We know we're gonna make a Jurassic movie every 3 years until we die, right? So why not make one where instead of starting off a new trilogy, I'm so bored of that. Let's do one where it's like a standalone movie and we kill off everyone. Because if you kill off
Yeah,
everyone and like let's say Scarlett Johansson sacrifices herself to get the DNA out, but everyone dies then the next time you watch a Jurassic movie, you would be like, oh, well, everyone could die. They all died last time, so anyone can die, you know?
no, yeah, that's straight up. Like it should be a dinosaur horror movie, like they keep saying.
Yeah, but they're
Market it that
liars.
way. Market it that way. Make a trailer where someone's getting torn apart right away. Do not market it as it is another Jurassic World movie that is for the family. Because that's the
Mm,
one thing too where I saw when I went into this movie and funnels of children were coming in. I was like, what the
mm.
hell? I thought this was supposed to be the scary Jurassic World movie. And then when it ended, I was like, the parents were right on this one because this was tame as hell. It might be the most tame of almost all of them, in my opinion. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there weren't really suspenseful moments to begin with. I got up to piss during this movie two or three times, and I didn't miss a single thing. I just kept
Yeah,
getting up because I was
two,
tired. I like fell asleep at one point, and my brother like nudged me awake, and I was like, "All right, I gotta move around a little bit."
yeah, 2 out of 5 for me. Bad movie. Don't like it.
Yep, two
Nothing
and a
really of
half. I think
value
is what
there.
I think a two and a half is what I ended up giving it. And honestly, I'd probably knock it down to a two on a rewatch more than likely, just because, like I said, no inspiration there whatsoever. But please bring my faith back to humanity with filmmaking and tell me about James Gunn's Superman.
Oh, you mean the movie of the summer? Because that's what I watched a couple nights ago. I was obviously very excited for this. I loved every single other James Gunn blockbuster that he's made. And I love Superman. I'm way higher in him than your average Joe. I loved everything decision going into it. And I just loved it. I had a great time. I will say I don't think it's the greatest movie ever. I'll say a couple things actually. Christopher Reeve is still my Superman, and
And
you can
I
call
have
him
never
what?
seen that one still, so I cannot speak to
Oh,
that.
well, it's like one of the greatest American movies ever made, but you
The
know,
my first experience with a Superman in film was fucking Brendan Routh in 2006.
which
So
I
that's why like
recently demoted.
Superman that's why Superman wasn't really my thing because I watched like half of that movie as a kid, like 2006 when it came out. I was 10. I watched half of it at my uncle's house and like next door to my house. I left. I was like, I don't want to watch this movie. It's not good. It's making me
It,
mad.
it's
Even as a
boring. It's a boring
10-year-old.
movie. Yeah, but the Christopher Reeve one is special. Like the first two, the Donner cut, I think is
Isn't
really
Richard
worth your
Pryor in like the
time.
third one or something? I want to see the one with Richard Pryor because I love Richard Pryor.
Yeah, there's value in the third one, but it's known as a bad movie. And then I
I've heard
rewatched.
that one is just a mess.
Yeah, and then I even rewatched Quest for Peace, and I was like, "There's kind of a high floor for this because at the end of the day, I still get to watch the best superhero casting and performance of all time, Christopher
Yeah,
Reeve."
Christopher Reeve looks like Superman from the comics. So I mean, and like the vice versa of him being like the Clark Kent version too. Like he just looks like
Hmm.
exactly the comic book version. Same thing with this new guy too, honestly.
Well, the problem is that when I think about Suicide Squad, like if I close my eyes and picture just in any media, Suicide Squad, I think of the Suicide Squad, Idris Elba, John Cena, and Margot Robbie, and so on. When I think of Guardians of the Galaxy, I think of, that first Guardians of the Galaxy movie with, Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana and Dave Bautista. And when I think of Superman, I will still think of Christopher Reeve. Just by an edge. I think this is, doing the same kind of thing. Like that's the thing. I've seen this movie before. Like I've seen a lot of the ideas that we're playing with. They're executed perfectly and everything's done really great. One of the biggest takeaways that I got from the movie is it almost allows me to enjoy Man of Steel more because now that we have a modern version of Superman that is faithful to the what I see the truth of the character, with the modern special effects, and everything. I'm more forgiving of Man of Steel for being such a bold departure because it's not the modern day like big screen representation of Superman anymore. So there's a lot less pressure on it. Like
Yeah.
I've been comparing Man of Steel a lot these days to the Rob Zombie's Halloween. Like I think Rob Zombie's Halloween completely misunderstand what's cool about Halloween and like is inherently wrong, but I do appreciate that it did take such a bold contrasting take on the franchise and so therefore I think there's value in it. Man of Steel's a lot better than Rob Zombie's Halloween, but that's kind of how I feel. Like this is all wrong. But for what they were trying to do, I think that there's a lot of cool stuff and there's a lot of value here. And I was 13 when it came out. So I can't
That
be
is
reasonable.
your comparison of those movies though is so fucking funny to me because I don't have a huge attachment to Superman, like I said before. But I really enjoyed Man of Steel, where like the rest of the world, especially when it came out, just like wasn't feeling it. But the funny part about like you comparing that to Rob Zombie's thing too is like when that movie came out, I had not really seen the original Halloween, and I thought that movie was like super cool. And then when I went back and watched the original Halloween, I kind of like realized what people were talking about more. And I still like parts of Rob Zombie's thing, but like you were saying, it's just not. It's a cheap imitation of what it truly is. So I'd be interested, especially to go back and watch like the Christopher Reeves one and compare it
Mhm.
to even Man of
Well,
Steel now, just because I don't have that same experience.
well, if you had like a fun uncle, right, and your parents passed away, and the fun uncle now has to be like a dad, your fun uncle would be a shitty dad.
Yeah.
But your fun uncle's really good at being a fun uncle. You see what I'm saying? So now that like Daddy's home with David Cornsweet and James Gunn's Superman, it's like, oh well, now it's okay that James Gunn's Superman or the Zack Snyder Superman kind of sucks because we have a good version now. We have the ideal
A
perfect
good
modern
modern
version.
version. Yeah.
But no, I love it. It's sweet. I will say it didn't make me cry, like every other James Gunn blockbuster superhero movie does.
Not like all of
And
the Republicans.
oh, I'm so sick of it. I'm already sick of it. Like if someone doesn't
The
understand
movie's
that
not even come out
Superman's an
yet.
immigrant, it's not my problem, you know?
It's so
Like
crazy. It's like you don't understand. It's like I saw someone on Threads, I think, when they were like, this whole Superman discourse, I cannot even imagine what's gonna happen when X-Men come out.
yeah, they won't understand that either. It's difficult, you know, but I will say stuff like that does make The Boys better because The Boys being like the big complaint is it's like, oh, it's so on the nose, it's so obnoxious with its like political commentary and metaphors.
The funniest part with
Like,
that
but
too
that's
is
what
like
it
all
is in
of
real
those
life.
and all of those people who say that were like huge fans of it before they actually like could tell because they weren't being more subtle with it they were more subtle in the beginning and then they were just overtly just making fun of Republicans and shit in the last few seasons
Sure.
and that's when they finally got mad. It's like you were being fed up the whole time. You just didn't realize it because you're stupid.
Yeah, no, where it's proved that all that it's true. That's what would happen. It would be so blatantly obvious and wrong, you know, in
And it's
real
proof that all
life.
these people just really would want Homelander more than Superman.
Yeah, but no, I couldn't recommend it more. I love it. I don't think it's the best superhero movie ever. I think it goes toe to toe. It kind of reminds me of the Batman, and that it's like I loved it. I had a great time. I'm gonna watch it a million more times, buy it on Blu-ray, one of my favorite movies of the year. But I have a hard time like declaring it my favorite of that character because there's so many great iterations that came before. I mean, Superman has less great iterations, but like I already have my Superman, so it's kind of hard for me to like immediately be like, okay, bye, Christopher Reeve, you know?
So, a couple questions before we end this topic. First one being, you think this gets any attention like a Black Panther did at award season
No,
or
come
an
on.
Avengers?
Let's be serious here. I mean, I think I
I'm
get the
just
best
saying.
visual effects nomination. I might get costume and hair, like wardrobe or like hair and makeup, maybe. But no, this isn't gonna get best picture or any
And
acting
so,
or any
like, and
writing
then
or
other question, all of the Supermans, you got your Dean Cain in there. Where does this new guy rank in there? Henry
Second, firmly
Cavill.
like knocking on Christopher Reeve's door, I think,
So
and
he
that's
throws
another
Henry
thing, by the
Cavill
way,
right in the
with my
trash.
defense of Henry Cavill's Superman, I do think that that's the worst Superman. Now, I don't think it's the worst Superman movie, but like, I do think that's the
You
worst
think he's worse than
version.
Dean Cain?
I don't know. I know Dean Cain from the John Mulaney joke, and that's it.
He played on the TV show. There was a TV show called Lois and Lane or Lois,
Oh, Superman
Superman
and
and
Lois.
Lois. Yeah, and that was actually my real first introduction to Superman because it was a network television show in like the 90s, and it
Hmm.
used to rerun all the fucking time during the summer.
I
So
will say I
that
never
is
watched
my
Smallville either. I know that's a lot of people's introduction to that
Smallville
character.
is fucking awesome. It's super cheesy. I don't know if it would really translate to today, but especially back when I was like 9, that show fucking hit hard.
Hmm. But
Tom Welling is a super good Clark Kent. I don't know. I never really saw him in the deeper season. I never watched the later seasons when he actually like becomes more of a Superman character, but younger version of Clark, he was awesome.
I will say this. I think that when I came out of the movie Superman, I was like, yeah, but is it as good as The Dark Knight? Is it as good? And if you start like, if that's your first reaction when you come out of a movie is like, but is it as good as the greatest movies of all time? Then like that's a clue you watched a really great movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
One more, just because it came into my head. Do we do retreading of like going back to Mom Pa Kent's farm and showing him as a kid, or do we just stay as an adult?
I won't say much details, but I will say that like, so we don't see the origin straight up, but we do.
That's basically what I'm asking.
Yeah, we do alter the origin just a little. Like, there's something I've never seen in a Superman thing, and I thought it was a little weird, but I think it works really well for this version. But that was a pretty shocking aspect of the movie to me. Um, I won't say much more. Yeah.
I like that. I like that you're leaving that to me. I appreciate that answer. But yeah,
Um,
I just don't want that's what I was wanting more than anything. It's not just like a retreading of just like, oh, we have to show him from the beginning in a flashback or something silly like that. Like, I don't need a whole retreading of he falls from the sky and then he gets raised at this farm and like I've seen that
Yeah,
story
no,
so many times. I mean,
we don't
Smallville
need
definitely
any of
extended
that.
it out long enough where that was cool. We don't need it anymore.
Yeah, but no, this is like a day in the life of Superman, kind of. You know what I mean? Like this is
That's
a
dope.
significant moment in his life. This is everything we wanted from a Superman movie. So I
Nathan,
think that you're gonna be more than satisfied.
Nathan Fillion, I'm so excited to see him too.
Oh, he's a lot of fun. That this is my
Lex
Jimmy
Luthor,
Olsen.
whatever.
Mr. Terrific is also a standout for me. But yeah, no, no, really, really good movie. I think currently I have it at the third favorite on the year, like ahead of 28 Years Later and Elio and Dogman, but behind Friendship and Sinners.
Still need to see Elio.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Elio. I'll keep it short because I know we'll talk about it next time. I loved Elio. I think it has the funniest Pixar joke in years. I think it's super sweet and heartfelt. I really imaginative. I really like the story. It feels like something I haven't seen before. I just really thought it was hilarious, the conceit of the movie. Um, but yeah, Elio, I heavily recommend. It's super shame that it's not
I
doing
haven't gotten my
anything.
niece. We keep trying to get to the theater, but we haven't been able to yet. But we're hoping to here soon. Try to see that before it leaves, because that's been the one I've been waiting on. I've been wanting to see it really bad, but I want to go see it with a child.
Yeah, no, it's great and well, hurry up because it won't be
Yeah,
out for long.
unfortunately, because
Um,
yeah, the train keeps rolling when it comes to these summer blockbusters. Like, what's after Superman now?
Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, is that this weekend or next weekend?
Next weekend's Eddington, and then the following weekend's Fantastic Four, and then the following weekend should be Bad Guys 2, and the following weekend's Weapons.
Hell yeah, I'll definitely see Bad Guys too with my niece too, because we saw the first one.
Yeah. Other ones that I wanted to bring up real quick. Mountainhead, HBO original, I think, with a good cast, Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman. Is this on your radar at all? Yeah, it was good. It's a bunch of these like tech, CEO billionaire guys, and they have
It's a
this like,
movie?
yeah, this little like dude bro retreat to this like really nice, ski lodge kind of
Oh,
place.
I feel like I
And then
saw like
while
a
they're
picture or a clip from it or something.
yeah, while they're there, the world starts to like collapse, and they decide to like almost like they're playing a game of Risk, like they're like kind of like running the new world and mapping it out together. And the first two acts are kind of douchey and annoying
Oh,
and
it's got the
long.
guy that played Chevy Chase in that Saturday Night movie too.
Yeah, he's really good in it, and Rami Youssef I like a lot. But the third act really shines. So if you do get a chance, I would recommend that just for the third act alone. I did. Oh, you didn't see How to Train Your Dragon? Um,
Mm-mm.
it's
I
fine.
mean, I saw the original, so I feel like I might have seen
Yeah, you saw it then exactly. It's
it.
I gave it a 3 out of 5, but I'm a fake bitch. I didn't like it. But I thought it was okay.
I have a feeling I'd probably be at a similar 3 out of 5, but similar to how I gave a 3 out of 5 to Lilo and Stitch. Like those movies are usually just pumped out, and I don't really watch them again.
Yeah, yeah, it's there.
The fat kid from
I'm
Deadpool's in it, so that's cool. That's all I really know about it. And the kid from Black Phone.
He's good. The kid from Deadpool 2, yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah.
But no, there's really nothing to write home about. It's pretty much exactly this. It's the most like exactly the same live action remake, which kind of makes it more boring. Like you saw how much I hate
The
Lilo and Stitch.
dragon looked exactly the same. I was just like, why are we even doing this?
Oh yeah, I like talking about Lilo and Stitch more than I like talking about How to Train a Dragon, because at least there's things to talk about with Lilo and Stitch. I don't think there's anything to talk about with How to Train a Dragon.
Yeah, there's no
Um,
controversy. It's just a nothing burger.
Oh yeah. A Novocaine I caught up on and I did really like it. Or I think
Hell
I gave it
yeah.
a high 3, but I did
It's,
feel like it lost its steam towards the end.
I would agree with that.
And then Materialists. Have you not seen Materialists?
Which one is that?
Oh, that's the new romance that's out with
Oh
Celine
no,
Song,
I have not been
Dakota
able to see that
Johnson,
one yet. Yeah, I want to, but yeah, Chris.
Evans, and Pedro Pascal.
I literally went Pine Pratt. No, I was going through my lists in my head.
It's super sweet movie. I mean, I think it's really funny. I don't like it as much as Past Lives, but I'm happy that there's big movies with movie stars like this. You know, they're coming out and being in the mainstream and people are seeing them. And it's a really good time. I think it goes to a dark place at a certain point. But I don't know. I do think it's generally like a really sweet, like fun date movie
I
kind of
saw
like
you
romance
rate it
thing.
pretty high, and I think Chad wrote it or rated it pretty high too. So I definitely am very interested.
Oh yeah, 4 stars and a heart. Your boy is a fan.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
I think that's it for me when it comes to like things that I've watched that are new this year. And then recently, I'm scrolling through like a million things that I just watched from your Voodoo, um,
Yeah, the only things I
including.
caught up on your voodoo were was the Nutty Professor, I think. Maybe one
Oh
other
yeah, I
thing.
haven't even seen that.
Yeah, that was something. I definitely enjoy the Eddie Murphy one a lot more, but it has the bones of what the Eddie Murphy one definitely did. You can see a lot of the inspiration, but it's
Hmm.
still very 60s.
Yeah, I will get to it. I kind of want to watch the Eddie Murphy one first, just because that's the one that I know more. Like that's
Yeah.
if you ask me who the Nutty Professor is, I wouldn't say Jerry Lewis. I would say,
No.
Eddie Murphy.
I would probably say who is Jerry Lewis if someone said that because I don't really know him that well.
I won't dive into all the ones I watched from yours, because we're what, 2 hours now. But I will say this: They Live. That was the best one that I watched. Maybe one
Hell
of the best
yeah.
movies I've ever watched on your Vudu.
That's that's probably one of my favorite movies in that whole catalog, so I'm very happy to hear that.
Did you ever go to that horror store on Colonial Atomic Horror when you lived down
Mm-mm.
here? Oh, you would have loved it, man. They got a whole setup. Like you put on the glasses, and then you can actually read everything now.
Hell yeah.
It's just a fun, like, cool, like horror store, like knickknacks and stuff. But yeah, I only give it a 4 out of 5. I could so see myself going up to a 5 on a rewatch, but I really, really dug the messaging, the lead performance, the action in the movie, the
That
special effects.
whole
I really enjoyed
the
everything.
whole fight scene of Keith David and Roddy Piper, the main guy, I'm
Oh,
pretty sure that was
hilarious.
like improvised too. Like they were just like going back and forth and they were like, don't cut the cameras, just keep going. Because Roddy is a wrestler, so he like basically knew how to do that kind of shit already.
Oh yeah,
It's a
which
lot to that
hilarious because I
movie.
know him from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So I didn't know he was like a real actor. I thought he was just some bum that they liked.
Yeah, no, he did some movies there and a few here and there when it came to like the 80s and stuff, but he started being in more like especially like B and even like C like low level movies and later in his life because unfortunately I think due to alcohol and other things he kind of burnt through all of his money so he became a lot of like oh you can pay like a Danny Trejo you can pay him a certain his fee and he'll show up in literally anything Christian movie horror movie whatever it is he'll be there.
Yeah, and that actually kind of started a whole John Carpenter night for me because I think I started that one around midnight, and then afterwards I was like, let me throw on Ghost of Mars, and then
That
I was
was
like, that's shit. So I was like, I got to do Escape from New York, and then after that it was done, I was like, well, may as well do Escape from LA now.
he just went on some big rises and then some kind of big falls. I mean, I think you liked LA more than a lot of people do when I saw your
Oh yeah, that
rating.
was ridiculous. They like surfed away. There was like a basketball sequence.
The
Like that
basketball
was
sequence is
hilarious.
so funny.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
A lot of those, so that movie and Ghost of Mars, just from my limited knowledge of like John Carpenter things here and there, he did not want to make either of those movies, so he literally would just do the most ridiculous, stupid shit that he could think of. So that's why I like those
That's
basketball
awesome.
scenes, surfing scene, all the goofy shit on Ghost of Mars. He hated making that movie. He's like, I'm just gonna make the stupidest shit I can.
Well, I think the funny
He
thing with
hates
Escape from
studios.
LA is I watched that not long after I watched The Phoenician Scheme, which also has a basketball themed
Yeah.
sequence, like very similar. And so I thought that was a weird comparison. But yeah, no, I was really happy to go through a lot of those, and now that I want to finish out his filmography because he's awesome, you know.
I only have a few more to watch from him, but yeah, I love him.
To recap with our game here, the ass anticipation game, just to catch everyone up. We draft 10 movies back and forth. We draft movies each till we get to 10. If the movie makes $100 million domestically, then whatever the Rotten Tomatoes score is gets added to your point total. So therefore, Like Lilo and Stitch made well over $100 million domestically, which means in the United States. So that movie counts. So Steve, you've gotten 71 points for Lilo and Stitch. Add that to the 47 points that you got for Captain America: Brave New World. That puts you at a total of 118. Movies that have not and are not looking like they will gross $100 million include your number 10th pick, Ballerina. Your number 9 pick, Saw 11, which we've discussed is going to get pushed back.
Yep.
Michael, which is your number 8 pick, which also got pushed back. Lilo and Stitch and Captain America were at the 6 and or 7 and 6. So you've gotten points for both of those. Your number 5 pick, Megan 2, and your number 4 pick, Mickey 17, both are not looking like they're going to succeed. So 118 points. You still have Avatar, Wicked, and Fantastic Four. So I think you're surefire going to have more points.
I have a fighting
Um,
chance after three movies canceled or whatever.
well, yeah, oh yeah.
Well,
So you're
four
at twice
movies
as
almost
disadvantage.
with the box office failures, or yeah, with the box office failures and Rotten Tomatoes and all that. I have your luck for the last few years this year so far.
Oh yeah, well you're the reigning two-time champion. Is things are not looking good. I got my first pick. Mission Impossible got 80%. That's $100 million domestically it made already, so we're good there. My number 2 pick, Superman, just came out. A very good Rotten Tomato score. It's going to make 100 million. We just have to wait for that to happen. No, Zootopia hasn't come out yet. My number 4 pick, Elio, bomb. Not going to make $100 million, but a really good Rotten Tomato score, so that's a shame. Then I had 4 in a row that hit, and kind of in succession. Jurassic World Rebirth, How to Train Your Dragon, Thunderbolts, and F1. Those 52 for Rebirth, 77 for How to Train Your Dragon, 88 for Thunderbolts, and 83 for F1. So pretty, successful little run for me there. I currently have the 4 highest qualifying Rotten Tomatoes scores so
Hell
far.
yeah.
So I'm feeling confident at 380 points. Tron Ares hasn't come out, and then Snow White is not. I think it capped at 87 million or
So you
something
got me
like that.
fleeced by like 200 right now.
118 to 380. So yeah,
So yeah,
270 points, which you usually beat me by like 150. So I think Superman's for sure, Zootopia's for sure. I'm pretty confident about Tron, so we should both have
when
3
does Zootopia come out early enough in the year? I can't remember when that
November.
comes out. Okay.
That's like a
Yeah, it's
Thanksgiving
early enough
thing.
then. I thought it came
I
out
think
December
Tron
for
is the
some
beginning of
reason.
October, so that should hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about anything box office besides Tron. But Tron, like Legacy, that made like 150 million domestically, but that was
I
also 15 years ago.
I have not seen a Tron movie yet, still to this day, but I'm very excited to see that one and the other ones eventually.
I like the original one because it's kind of religious with its themes, and I think that that's the most interesting thing
I've
about the
seen like
franchise.
the clips so many times too of like the racing and stuff, but I have no context.
Oh yeah, it's ugly. Like the Tron Legacy looks beautiful and has much better music, but yeah, no, everything else I think is better about the original one.
Yeah, I think
Um,
if I would have went with, because when we originally did our picks for this game, I almost didn't pick Saw and went Final Destination, and
yeah,
in a different world that would have worked out a little bit better for me, but
yeah, 91 points we missed out on there, both of us, I believe. And then the only things that we didn't select that would have been winners, no one picked Minecraft, no one picked Sinners, which is we're looking really
yeah,
funny.
we look stupid on that one. I don't think anyone was expecting that to be as huge as it was, but
Yeah, and then Dogman made 97 million, so and that's done. So the top 11 movies, F1 is at 112 million, but those are all Ballerina's at 57, Elio's at 56, so we're kind of slowly chugging along there, the two of us. But yeah, no. Other than that though, but hey, a good year for movies. Great summer we're turning out so far. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up here?
nah, I think I'm good.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for watching movies. I just released my Superman review, hard reviews. Please check that out. I love movies so much every day.
The film fan reviews is dead. It'll
Like
come
Dead
back
Dead.
eventually. No,
I was about to say,
it'll
I
come
was
back
like, there's
eventually,
usually like a
but.
glimmer of hope.
Yeah, we're hoping.
Uh,
I need to actually commit to it. I keep thinking about it and then I'm like, but I could just go to sleep and I just do that instead. But I'm gonna get that motivation back eventually. I need to download some of my software and shit that I don't have anymore too.
Well, hopefully the movies will be good enough to inspire you to do so.
I
So
think
keep,
so.
so come on, movies, be better, movies.
Yeah, be
Uh,
better.
but but thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us, is Superman the movie of the summer? Are we missing out? Is this something else that we talked about that's the movie of the summer? But for me, it's the Superman. There's a fist. There's not an open hand.
Elon Musk over here, but yeah. Keep watching movies. Follow us on our letterbox to stay up to date even closer on what we're watching, but we'll get an episode out sooner to you than later next time. So next time, we'll see you at the movies.